We're live from the Forum in Rome, Georgia. 3,200 wild fans sold out. Hi, my name is Stephen Quadros, and welcome to World Extreme Fighting 8, going platinum. We have one of the greatest no-holds-barred fight cards ever put together tonight. And also working with me at ringside, I have Wade Rome and Tim Stamper. Tonight's main event, two legends, international legends, Jose Pele Landi from Brazil and Pat, the Croatian sensation, Miletic. Also, we have a tremendous super fight duo and a great undercard. Let's go to that undercard right now. Carl Schmidt versus Henry Matamoros. Aaron Riley versus Colin O'Rourke. Rodrigo Huas versus Roman Reutberg. Mike Cordoza versus Eric Hibler. David Dodd versus George Allen. George Pereira versus Matt Hughes. Phil Johns versus Jens Pulver. Adrian Serrano versus Wald Blois. Brad Kohler versus Hanato Babalu. Alex Paz versus Bobby Hoffman. Rodrigo Nogueira versus Jeremy Horn. John Lewis versus Laverne Clark. And finally, Pat Miletic versus Jose Pele Landi. This main event, Jose Pele Landi versus Pat Miletic, has been a long time in the making. People have been talking about this fight for at least 2 years. I'm really excited about this one, and it could be a potential classic, Wade.
Yeah, Stephen, you're absolutely right when you call this a super fight. This is really the first time that two international champions of such fame have faced each other. We've got Pat, the Croatian sensation, Miletic, UFC lightweight champion, and probably one of the hardest men to get out of his game plan in this sport, in the holds-barred fighting, taking on Jose Pele Landi, a free spirit and national hero in Brazil. What a fight. This is going to be a great matchup.
Tremendous. You know, on the undercard, Tim, we've got...
Matamoros is a submission fighter. He's coming out of Evansville, Indiana, does a lot of the hook and shoot events. Very, very tough competitor, very tough to take out of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the Forum in Rome, Georgia, are you ready for World Extreme Fighting? Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going platinum. 16 big bouts on the card tonight, brought to you by World Extreme Fighting, culminating with a big super bout between UFC lightweight champion Pat Miletic against Brazilian sensation Pele. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, also want to introduce the referees tonight. Refereeing the first part of the night, official referee for Extreme Challenge, Todd Fredrickson. The official World Extreme Fighting referee will be reffing bouts tonight, Mr. Kip Kohler, also president of North American Grappling Association, and special guest referee tonight, perhaps the most celebrated ref in No Holds Barred, Big John McCarthy. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the first bout of the evening? The fighter to my left, wearing the black trunks, brings in a professional fighting record of 3 wins and 0 losses. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana. Please welcome Carl Schmidt. And ladies and gentlemen, the fighter on my right, wearing the red trunks trimmed in black, brings a professional fighting record in of 22 wins against only 4 losses. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Matamoros. It will be on referee Todd Fredrickson's command, and the bell scheduled for 3 4-minute rounds with a 3-minute overtime.
Okay, here we go to kick it off. World Extreme Fighting 8 going platinum. First bout of the evening. Matamoros versus Schmidt. Oh!
I love it. Not needed to be worked up anymore tonight, huh?
And here they go. Matamoros shoots out with a front kick. Swinging wild, Schmidt. Both these men are full of energy. And Matamoros going for the takedown. Schmidt trying to work that guillotine choke. Grappling for position. And down they go. Into the Matamoros on the bottom in the guard. It was a nice hip turn takedown by Schmidt.
Schmidt has Matamoros worked up against the cage there. He needs to turn his position out and see if he can work himself out of this.
Headbutts are not legal tonight, but virtually every other strike is.
Stay busy, guys.
Carl Schmidt looks to be in tremendous shape.
I tell you, both these fighters look in great shape, but Carl Schmidt's impressive physically, to say the least.
Unbelievable specimen. Now they're working a grappling duel. Looks like Matamoros is trying to turn. He's trying to turn and possibly go for... Oh.
I tell you, he's got that left arm of Matamoros trapped underneath, which opens up a lot of strikes on the open guard there. Matamoros has got a tough chin.
Good work.
He's got a tough chin, but...
You see Matamoros working his closed guard, trying to keep Carl Schmidt in tight to him, trying to prevent from those heavy strikes that he was just receiving a minute ago.
Now, in a fight like this, where they're in the guard down on the ground, sometimes the crowd can get a little anxious, but what Matamoros can do is try and work one of his legs, his instep under the thigh of Schmidt and try and elevate and sweep.
Exactly, Steve. And then at that point, he would reverse the position and then start working from the top and establishing a dominant position. And here we see some very heavy strikes throwing down on Matamoros.
Oh, and a attempted kick, it misses. Matamoros is up. That Carl Schmidt is strong. Doesn't look too winded. Nice check. Matamoros threw the low kick. Carl Schmidt defended.
I tell you, this fight's really come out of the gate going. These two fighters going at each other.
Both fighters are very, very game. And we see Carl Schmidt working some boxing and then throwing Matamoros down, but Matamoros countering with...
Now, Schmidt has got to watch out for that leg. That leg is in prime position to go for either a straight Achilles lock. He's got to be careful.
At this point, Carl Schmidt needs to spin into it.
And Matamoros looks like he's trying to spin into a knee bar, but Carl Schmidt is pulling it out. All the strikes, oh, he hit the floor. Oh, nice stomp. That bloodied up Matamoros.
Very aggressive.
I think there was a cut that opened up there.
Now it looks like he's trying to go for the knee bar, but he doesn't have position. Matamoros is taking a little bit of a beating at this point. Now, Carl Schmidt has got his back. He's got Matamoros. Matamoros is turtled up now.
Looks like Carl Schmidt has one hook in, and he's starting to secure the choke position, and as he takes the choke,
I think he's going to defend. Yes, Matamoros spins out. Oh, good defense.
Reversing the position.
Good defense. But Carl Schmidt, unfortunately, is still on top.
I'm sorry, Stephen. We see Carl Schmidt here applying a side choke with one arm trapped.
He taps.
That's a submission.
What a spectacular victory for Carl Schmidt. Spectacular victory.
Incredible.
He's psyched. Amazing. He beat a good fighter in Henry Matamoros.
Nice win over an accomplished fighter. Nice win for Carl Schmidt.
Huge win. A huge win. Henry gets up slow.
Henry, come here. Henry, come here.
Matamoros may look like he may be a little lost as to where he's at, but he's got it together.
And now we go to the center of the ring for the official time with a very dapper T.J. Thompson, who's making his way up. That was a little bit of a surprising victory because Carl Schmidt was...
Where's he at?
He was a little bit of an unknown coming into this. Matamoros pretty much had a very big name in hook and shoot competition, which is a very reputable organization in the middle of the United States.
I'm very impressed with Carl Schmidt. He was able to seem to keep his composure when he was in that ankle lock and Henry was trying to work a knee bar, and he kept his composure.
Official time, 3 minutes, 31 seconds, round number 1. Side choke submission from New Orleans, Louisiana, Carl Schmidt.
Good job.
An
That's a
excellent
big round of
victory.
applause for Henry Matamoros right there.
Well, I tell you, if that's any indication of the fights we're in for tonight, Stephen, we're in for a great show.
Okay, now here on the replay, we see that Matamoros is down, trying to throw the up kick, and he barely misses with that roundhouse kick to the head. Schmidt almost, he would have really hurt him, maybe knocked him out. But a big Tries another kick, misses again, and here's a strike. That's a hard strike. And
here we see Henry working some type of ankle lock or knee bar.
Carl Schmidt does a nice job here to bring his leg back and actually stomp.
Okay, now here it is. Carl Schmidt, psyched. This man's got a future. This man's got a future. A very impressive win. Okay, the next fight, Aaron Riley from Hook and Shoot from Cannelton, Indiana versus Colin O'Rourke from New York, New York. Oh, two little bulls in this one. Colin O'Rourke, look at that physique. 5'7", 175 pounds. This is his pro debut.
We have Colin O'Rourke coming out from the Renzo Gracie camp from out of New York.
At 5'7", 175 pounds, he's well put together.
He's well put together. Looks like a miniature Kevin Randleman. Great submissions, great takedowns. Can punch, too.
Well, coming out of Enzo's school, I think that he's going to be well prepared for this fight, Stephen.
And here he comes, Aaron Riley. Aaron Riley, 5'8", 176 pounds. Record of 3-0. Aaron Riley's a strong wrestler with a good chin, good conditioning. He's got some experience. Okay, now, tail of the tape. Aaron Riley is 19 years old, while O'Rourke is 32. Large disparity there. They're both about the same height. Riley 5'8", O'Rourke 5'7". Riley's 175 and 68-inch reach advantage, and O'Rourke is 175 pounds with a reach of 66 inches. And let's go up to T.J. Thompson for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout will be for the World Extreme Fighting World Title. Fight here on my left, in the black trunks trimmed in white, fighting out of the Renzo Gracie School in New York City, New York. Please welcome Colin O'Rourke. And ladies and gentlemen, the fighter to my right in the red trunks trimmed in black. A professional fighting record of 11 wins against only 2 losses and 1 draw. He's from Cannelton, Indiana. Please welcome Aaron Riley. On Todd Fredrickson's command.
Hold up there. Okay, big Todd Fredrickson, one of our lovely ring card girls, holding up the belt. There's Aaron Riley. Looks pretty relaxed. Oh, look how intense Mr. O'Rourke is.
This is a redemption match for Aaron Riley. No. He lost a very tough fight in Hawaii where he was outweighed by 30 pounds. So he's very excited about coming back and looking for some redemption with an opponent who is very similar in his weight.
Okay, and here they go.
Both fighters coming out to the center of the ring, and we see a
by Riley.
Tackle.
Good defense by O'Rourke.
Riley throwing the wizard technique there. Working an open guard, standing back up.
Oh, nice knee.
With the knee. Both fighters in a wrestling tie-up position there.
And I think that Riley wants to do some Muay Thai here. He tried to tie clinch him, tried to knee him. He's looking for that shoot. He knows he's going to shoot, and they're punching here. Nothing landing.
You see another shoot there.
I think Aaron Riley's game plan tonight is going to try to keep this thing on top. Colin O'Rourke's an accomplished wrestler and an accomplished grappler out of Enzo's academy, so it should be interesting to see how this goes.
We see Riley connecting with the right there a minute ago. Working another jab and a straight left.
Now, Riley's got quite a few titles. He's 7-1 in amateur kickboxing and 6-1 in amateur boxing, so I think you're right, Wade. I think he's going to try and keep it standing.
Stephen, you know, Aaron Riley, you said, is very young. Do you know his actual age?
19 years old.
19 years old.
Nice shot, nice shot. Aaron Riley's on top, doing some damage. Nice left hand. He did some damage. I got to say that.
He passes the guard.
Passes the guard.
Nice pass to the guard.
Establishes a strong side mount position.
He's going for the strikes here. Aaron Riley landed some hard shots and stung Colin O'Rourke, but I think Colin's got a great chin. But I don't think he's ever been whacked like this. Oh, nice shot.
Aaron's doing a nice job here.
Aaron can't get sloppy because Colin can grab that arm and go into an arm bar.
You see Colin O'Rourke on the bottom working a half guard position here. One knee in the chest, trying to keep some distance there to prevent some of those strikes from Aaron.
Here, Todd Fredrickson telling both guys to work this position, improve their positions.
Aaron stands back up, backs away from the fighter, and Todd stands both fighters back up.
And there's the restart by our referee.
I think this is Aaron's fight plan so far.
A little bit over halfway through the fight. And Aaron has got a good sprawl, which has been neutralizing so far. Oh, there's the jab. Oh!
Another great whizzer technique by Aaron Riley to reverse the position.
And Aaron has the half mount, or you could say that Colin has the half guard, depending on which way you like to look at it. Aaron is on top again, though. Both men relaxing, picking their next move.
Let's go, let's work, let's work. Can't just lay there, guys, let's go. Let's keep busy, come on.
Yeah, our referee, Todd Fredrickson, will be restarting him. And Aaron pops back up. He wants to stand up. He knows he wants to box. He wants to kickbox. Ooh, nice right hand.
Nice hit by Aaron Riley. Both fighters extremely tough, taking a lot of punishment.
I would have to say Aaron Riley is dishing out a little more than he's taking right now. He's looking for that knee. He's going to throw that left knee. Oh, O'Rourke is driving in hard, and he's got him down. He's got him down.
Hold it tight, Colin.
Aaron Riley sinks right into an inside guard here, trying to fight off the takedown. At this point, the cage can actually be to his advantage as he's able to position himself and brace off the cage. As long as he doesn't absorb any blows with his head tied up against the cage here, he's in good shape.
Let's go.
Exactly, Wade. At this point here, Colin O'Rourke has Aaron Riley pinched up against the fence, and if Colin applies enough pressure, this will prevent Aaron Riley from standing back up, and Colin O'Rourke can establish his game plan and fight plan on the ground.
And we've got about 10 seconds left in our round, and O'Rourke is a tiny bit of an advantage. The round's almost over.
We see some short punches to the head of Aaron Riley to finish out the round.
And there it is, end of round one. For the most part, Aaron Riley had his way in that fight with strikes, a lot of them standing up. Landed a few good kicks, a few good punches.
Exactly right, Stephen.
You see Tito Ortiz leaning over and giving some water. I believe that's Tito Ortiz, isn't it?
That is Tito Ortiz.
That is Tito Ortiz.
Tito is giving some post-round one instructions. There's our lovely ring card girl. Tito Ortiz is an Ultimate Fighting champion star. Fought a tremendous fight against Frank Shamrock a couple months back. In a losing effort, but a valiant effort. Gave Frank almost all he could handle. And Aaron looks pretty relaxed. And here we go with the replay. Aaron goes for the tie cuts and lands that left hand and knocks him down. And right hand, he just grounded pounds away. O'Rourke really hasn't been in this position. This is O'Rourke's pro debut, actually. Those left hands are landing with regularity, but O'Rourke is remaining composed. Nice left hand by O'Rourke. Okay, here we go, round two.
Very exciting crowd here this evening.
Extremely exciting. O'Rourke needs to shoot in and take him down. He can't stand with him.
I think Aaron Riley actually has the formula to prevent that takedown from Colin O'Rourke. He seems to have a really good counter to that by using his wizard defense.
I think Riley, because he's got a lot of experience with 14 fights. Oh, nice takedown. He pulls his way in there. O'Rourke on top. Riley on the bottom. Now, O'Rourke, this is the first time we got to see him work in this position with Riley on the bottom.
Let's go, guys. Gotta work some. You're not punching, work position. Let's go. Let's go.
Nothing doing right now. Both men trying to be patient.
Colin O'Rourke passes the guard, establishes a side mount position on Aaron Riley.
This position is good for that right knee if he wants to crack Riley in the head.
There's a lot of possibilities here. You're absolutely right, Stephen.
1 minute in, round two of three. Oh, nice reversal by Aaron Riley. Now he has the side mount. Elbow.
Nice short elbow to the head there. Aaron Riley seems to take advantage of every opportunity he gets to at least put a shot in there. Nice right knee.
Good right knee by Aaron Riley. Riley is in a good position to do some damage. If O'Rourke doesn't get out of this position quick, we could expect to see some blood.
Well, Stephen, you're absolutely right. And if he has some pins up against the cage here, it's also to O'Rourke's disadvantage. He needs to work away from this position, turn himself towards the center of the ring.
He can do volleyball between that right elbow and right knee, back and forth. That's a lot of strength right there by Colin O'Rourke. Now, Riley should just let him stand up.
At this point, Aaron Riley seems to be the fresher fighter between the two. Wouldn't you agree, Stephen?
Yeah, I would have to say it because Colin O'Rourke's got his mouth open. He looks like he's getting gassed. I know he's got a great physique, but sometimes people, when they have the big muscles like that, they do tend to tire.
You're absolutely right, Stephen.
We've seen that happen with Mark Coleman and a few other of the really strong athletes. When they get into the later rounds, the excess muscles sometimes do become baggage.
Keep working, man. Let's go. Come on.
But you don't want to rule out a Renzo Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu man.
And I tell you, every time they come into the guard position, Colin O'Rourke is looking to secure one of the arms.
Now, Colin O'Rourke is trying that famous kick that Oleg Taktarov got knocked out by Renzo Gracie, his teacher.
And we see both fighters stand back up. Riley working a jab.
Riley's in control. Riley is a southpaw, meaning he's got his right foot forward, so if he throws a jab, it is the right jab. Nice left hand. Colin is loading up. You don't want to get hit by that punch.
Wait, at this point, it looks like Colin O'Rourke is catching a second win, wouldn't you believe?
I think he is. He actually has become the aggressor here in the second round.
Exactly. We show a nice takedown there by Colin O'Rourke.
He's got a tremendous amount of heart.
Let's go. Let's work.
Now he's in the half mount. Colin.
Let's go, guys. Can't just
And
wait
Aaron
here.
is just resting.
Last time from this position, Colin O'Rourke was able to pass the guard of Aaron Riley. Let's see if he's able to do so here.
Riley does have a bag of tricks.
I tell you, 19 years old with 11 professional fights. Is that how many
Let's go,
said he had,
guys, let's
Stephen?
go.
He's certainly got some
Same time for
experience.
us.
Yeah, 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He's actually got 14 fights.
14 fights.
Oh, a couple little
Nice left hand by Aaron
Let's
Riley.
go.
Colin has to get busy. He's going to try and steal this round back. So far, I would have to say the judges would be scoring this for Aaron Riley. 5 seconds left.
Let's go, guys.
And
Gotta
winding
do something.
down.
Let's go.
And there it is, the end of round 2.
An incredible round, wouldn't you believe?
I think so. I think that Aaron established dominance for the first 2/3 of the round, but O'Rourke made a little bit of a comeback, Wade.
He surely did. He seemed to actually catch a second win, as Tim said earlier. Seemed to work for the takedown, work for the pass. And I felt like he had some effective strikes there. He may have caught Aaron on the feet for the first time as well. The fight swaying back a little bit back and forth, but I think Aaron's still in control of this fight at this point.
I think on points, he does have the fight under control. We see Tito Ortiz giving him some instructions. Looks like he's telling him to do the knee. And here we are with the replay. And we see Colin O'Rourke being reversed from side mount
By Aaron Riley. Beautiful reversal.
to Aaron Riley in the side mount on top. Standing up, Aaron throws a couple punches, and O'Rourke ducks under and does a nice single leg takedown into Aaron Riley's guard on the back. Very nice. He countered that punch. Here we go with round 3, the third and final round. So,
Are you ready? Are you ready?
well, here we go. Both men have exhibited tremendous heart in this fight.
Colin's got to be careful turning his back to Aaron Riley like that. That's a big mistake.
He could get kicked or he could get rear-mounted.
They go back down to the ground again with Colin O'Rourke passing the full guard. Now in Aaron Riley's half guard.
It's a nice half sweep by Riley. Riley's got good leg work from the bottom, a couple little elbows to the top of the head.
Aaron Riley working his closed guard, working some short strikes. Colin O'Rourke landing a big left there to the face of Riley.
Let's go, guys. Let's do something. Triangles on, bars past that guard. I'll stand back up. Let's go.
Our referee is imploring them to fight because he will restart them standing if they don't get busy on the ground. Both men have spent an incredible amount of energy in the first 2 rounds.
It's in your corners.
And we see a guard pass attempt by Colin O'Rourke.
But Riley catches, almost got him in a triangle, but now O'Rourke has got side mount, and Riley's getting up. He's almost got up. Great little battle there, Tim.
Exactly, Stephen. Great little battle. Colin O'Rourke doing very well, fending off the submissions and reversals by Aaron Riley. Aaron Riley using the cage in his feet to spin him back where he's head center to the octagon.
Yeah, Tim, I think Aaron has enough experience to know that he doesn't want his head sitting on that cage for Colin O'Rourke to take it off.
Not against a wrestler like Colin O'Rourke, you're absolutely right. It would be into his favor to face his head center back to the octagon. There we see
Aaron Riley is working hard, and he's got the top position, mounted position. Colin O'Rourke could potentially be in trouble here.
I tell you, I'm sorry, Stephen.
This is not a good position. I picture those elbows landing there. Oh, good defense by O'Rourke.
I think what we saw there, Stephen, was an example of Aaron Riley's cage experience and using the cage for...
There we see a beautiful mount escape by Colin O'Rourke.
Okay, where we started standing. I expect Aaron to drop a good punch. Oh, almost had a headbutt there.
Beautiful combination
Nice knee.
by Colin
He's
O'Rourke.
got him in a tied clinch. I expect a knee to the chin, and he's
Another big left hook and uppercut.
That was great. Colin O'Rourke punched his way out of the tie clinch. That is one of the ways out of the Muay Thai clinch. When the fighter grabs you around the neck, he's going to throw the knee to your ribs. Ooh, nice knee to the head. And another double leg takedown. That seems to be Mr. O'Rourke's forte, is those single and double leg takedown, Wade.
I tell you, he's exhibiting a plethora of takedown attempts here tonight. He's been pretty effective. Aaron started off the match able to counter his takedown attempts, but he's been pretty successful as of late. Although every time he takes him down, Riley seems to do a good job pulling right into the guard.
You know, it's as if he takes him down, Riley's on the bottom, Riley pauses, relaxes, then makes his move, and then reverses the position.
Exactly. Aaron Riley has has just proven how patient of a fighter he is, and he hasn't gotten nervous or frantic in those positions by Colin O'Rourke. So
I would have to say that Aaron...
Stop right there. Go to your corners, turn around, come back out. Fight.
Okay, they're going to restart.
Let's go.
I wonder if they're going to stop the time here. We've got 30 seconds left in the round. And Colin O'Rourke is taking his time. They're both winded. 20 seconds left.
these next 20 seconds are so important.
They're looking to land a big shot. Aaron sprawls.
Nice sprawl.
Defensive tackle. I expect a knee to come any second. There's one. 5 seconds left. Another knee. And a sprawl again.
One last
there
shoot
it is.
attempt.
Okay.
Beautiful fight.
Great fight.
Great fight.
Great fight between...
You know,
A lot of heart between those two competitors.
I would have to say win, lose, or draw, both men deserve a lot of credit in this fight. Colin O'Rourke came and he rumbled. He looked like he got out of gas in the first round, caught his second win. Aaron Riley, to me, could prove to be a prodigy, Wade.
I tell you, Aaron came out and established himself early in this fight. Colin O'Rourke looked a little lost. Entering the second round, Aaron Riley came out and started to establish himself again. Colin did a nice job then, ascertaining the takedown, working towards the mount. I tell you, I think it just came down to a matter of experience for Aaron Riley, and I agree. He's a force to be reckoned with in no holds barred.
Okay, here we go to the replay now. Aaron's got him in a Muay Thai clinch, but Colin punches his way out with a couple uppercuts. They're glancing blows. Aaron tries to get him back in there to try to initiate the knee attack. Lands one knee, but Colin pretty much defends. Now watch this takedown. It goes for the single, then the double leg, and down into Aaron Riley's guard. It's hard to stay on your feet with Colin O'Rourke. It's like a miniature Kevin Randleman. And let's go up to T.J. Thompson for the official verdict. Seems to be some discussion about the decision. The judges are tallying the scores, and they're tallying them again, and Mr. T.J. Thompson is putting it finally together. I think both these men have a future in World Extreme Fighting. And this was for a title.
That's correct. This was for a belt tonight. I believe this is for a super fight belt.
Yeah, this is for the World Extreme Fighting World Championship. And we're going to present that belt to the winner. And we're waiting for the decision.
Aaron? All right. Here. Over there.
Aaron looked like he took a couple shots.
What's your first name?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision.
Fighters in. Fighters.
Judge number 3 scores about 29-29. Judge number 1 and 2 score the bout 30-29 for the winner, 175-pound class world champion, Aaron Riley.
A tremendous...
Aaron Riley, the president of World Extreme Fighting, Mr. Jamie Levine.
A tremendous win for Aaron Riley. He fought a tough guy. Colin O'Rourke had a pro debut, but he fought like he'd had 5 or 10 fights under his belt.
Absolutely, Stephen. He came and gave a good showing. And I tell you, as I said a couple times, I think it just came down, as we get a good look at the belt there, it just came down to Aaron Riley's experience.
That was a great fight. Aaron Riley, now he's got another belt added to his collection.
At 19 years old, I hasten to see what titles he's going to have under his belt in a few years.
This man can only go up from here. And we're going to go Rodrigo Ruas from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil versus Roman Reutberg from Bellevue, Washington. This is an interesting matchup, fellas. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, it's very interesting because we have Rodrigo Ruas coming from the Marco Ruas camp, and we have Roman Reutberg, our Maurice Smith protege there. And there we see Rodrigo Ruas coming out with a very intense look on his face.
5'9", 181 pounds. It's his pro debut. But I would have to say, with Marco Ruas in your corner and wrestling coach Roberto Leiton right there, I think that experience, Wade, really helps a fighter in his pro debut.
Absolutely. When you have such a strong corner and strong coaching, it really can help set the fight, tone of the fight for you.
He's an excellent striker, as we would know, coming from Marco Ruas. Great knees and elbows, powerful leg kicks. I would have to say, with Roberto Leiton, who is behind him right now, lucha libre specialist from Rio de Janeiro, he has got to have some great grappling skills as well. Now let's have a look at his opponents. He's a Maurice Smith protege, Roman Reutberg. And he's from Bellevue, Washington. 5'11", 200 pounds.
Coming out with Roman, we see 2 UFC veterans, Maurice Smith, who we heard from earlier, as well as Kiyoshi Kosaka.
Great leg kicks, submissions, and a strong striker. I have heard that Maurice Smith says that Roman hurts him in training with low kicks. There's Maurice there. Maurice Smith changed the face of the sport when he beat Mark Coleman. Okay, here's the tail of the tape. Ruas is 22 years old, 5'9", 181 pounds with a reach of 71 inches, where Reutberg, close in age at 23, and height is 5'11", 200 pounds. Now that's a 19-pound difference, and a 73.5-inch reach. And let's go up to T.J. Thompson with the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for more? The fighter on my left wearing the black trunks from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, making his pro fighting debut, cornered by his cousin, the Brazilian king of the streets, Marco Ruas. Please welcome Rodrigo Ruas.
There's Marco there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter on my right, fighting out of Bellevue, Washington, with a pro record of 5 wins and 0 losses, cornered by former UFC heavyweight champion Maurice Smith. Please welcome Roman Reutberg. On Todd Fredrickson's command.
Mr. Todd Fredrickson. There's Roman Reutberg.
I tell you, Stephen, Roman Reutberg made an impressive World Extreme Fighting debut last fight at WEF 7 in New Orleans, Louisiana, taking out Curtis McWalters by submission after a plethora of leg kicks landed down. He's an excellent striker, excellent kicker, as well as his Uwas. This should be an interesting matchup.
I expect a lot of stand-up in this fight, Tim.
Yes, actually, you know, both fighters coming from a stand-up background. I expect a lot of firecrackers here.
There's that low kick. There's that low kick. Royberg is coming right out after him, and they're into the clinch here. Nice sweep. Little trip takedown. Royberg is very relaxed, grinding away with that left hand to Huas's ribs. But Huas doesn't seem worried. He's just going to wait. One thing about Huas Vale Tudo fighters, they are very patient. Marco Huas has trained Alexander Barros. He's trained Renato Babalu, who's fighting later tonight, and also the Ultimate Fighting Championship top contender, Pedro Hizo. That's a great camp.
A lot of great fighters coming out under Marco Huas, and Marco Huas is no slouch himself.
Oh, no, he's out with some knee problems. He's going to have surgery a little bit later this year.
Uwas is passed to the half mount, or is in the half guard of Roman Royberg, whichever way you like to look at it here.
Let's go, guys.
This fight's scheduled for 12 minutes with 3 4-minute rounds.
Now, as I said before, Huas, even though it's his pro debut, is fighting as if he had 5 or 10 fights. He's fighting with the experience and the composure of a seasoned professional. He's going for a little key lock action here. Sometimes they call for an Americana. He's got it.
And I believe he does have it.
He does have it. Royberg has got to spin out of it.
There seems to be a lot of upper body strength by Rodrigo there. And we see Roman covering the mouth of Ruas from the bottom and reverses the position.
Excellent reversal. He used the smother technique. He got Huas out of his game plan, and then he reversed. Now he's got this side, the half mount.
That was some great composure by Roman.
But Huas now has a loose guard. He went from half guard to guard.
Ruas excuse me, I'm sorry, Stephen. Ruas has an open guard there. It looks like he has one leg on the inside, looking for possibly a reversal or a tip, as there we kind of see an elevator there trying to reverse the position.
He's got good defense against the strikes. Some punches by Roman, but they didn't really land. Go back up. Now we're going to see some banging here, right? There both throw low kicks.
Very strong roundhouse kick to the midsection of Rodrigo.
Nice low kick by Rodrigo. Good jab by Roman back into the clinch. Expect to see some knees in this position.
And once again, they go back down.
It's amazing, Wade. It doesn't seem like Roman even defends the tackle at all.
No, I think he's very comfortable going to the mat here. I think, you know, coming out of Maurice Smith's camp, working with TK as much as he does, I'm sure he's very comfortable on the ground.
You know, like father, like son, like trainer, like student, Maurice Smith really never was a good defender of the shoot or the tackle himself. He usually just fell back in the guard and just worked from the bottom. When he worked with Coleman, when he fought Tank Abbott and some of the other fighters, he didn't really try to defend the tackle as much. I think Roman, being a chip off the old block, is very similar in that regard. There's Marco Huas.
Well, Mo Smith, typically in his previous fights, when it's gone to the mat, he's gone to the half guard, looked to stall the fight out and come back to the feet where he's most effective.
Another beautiful reversal by Roman Royberg there. Winding up in the guard again of Rodrigo.
Huas has got good defense on the ground. He knows how to get the guard. He knows how to curl those knees up and pop them around the waist.
25 seconds.
He knows how to get them into the elevator position. Royberg, now, this is sort of a difficult round to score. Royberg has been kind of more aggressive so far.
10 seconds.
But close to the fence. Now, here's where experience helps. Huas could be in a little bit of trouble if Royberg exploits this. Okay, there we go, end of the round. And Royberg helps him up, showing good sportsmanship. Back to his corner. And Mo hanging off the fence. That's an interesting position. Huas, same thing.
I tell you, nice round by both fighters. Huas able to gain both takedowns during that bout. Royberg able to reverse both times. Royberg worked at the end of that round towards getting Huas tied up on the fence. I think he was going to look to unload on some strikes. Unfortunately, for his corner, the time ran out during the round.
I think both fighters are very well schooled in standing and ground fighting positions. They neutralized each other a couple times. It was sort of like a little bit of a chess match. We go to a replay. We've got the smother technique by Roitberg getting Ruas out of that key lock, and then he reverses and then pops him over into the guard. That was a great little move. That's total Maurice Smith coming out in his student, Roman Roitberg. And here they are standing, and it's a nice little takedown and a little squeeze and a little trip, and boom, down on the ground, Ruas on top. Here we go with round 2. Roitberg versus Ruas. Roitberg having the black trunks with white trim, and Ruas having the solid black trunks.
Some fast hands there by both fighters. Both fighters exchanging a left and a right combination. And once again, Roman tying up the head.
Nice short little left hook by Ruas, but then Roman answered with a tie clinch and a little knee to the body. Now this is a stalemate position on the fence. Ruas is not in trouble. He's trying for that squeeze takedown. He's trying to take him over, and there it is. Another takedown by Ruas into the guard of Roitberg. But Roitberg is working that guillotine. I don't think he's got a chance of getting it. Ruas knows how to defend that. A little bit of a stalemate on the ground, trying to work out. Roitberg with a couple little taps to the ear. It is possible to generate a little bit of power from the bottom in the guard position to the ear.
You're absolutely right, Stephen. That's an effective strike. Although it's not a knockout punch, it's a battle of attrition.
Ruas trying to work that elbow into the fight.
Roitberg's guard is pretty accomplished.
He's using a lot of side leverage, side movement from the guard. He's curling up.
Roman has a very active guard, as you mentioned, Wade. Here we see, you know, him bringing his left knee in, stuffing it into the chest area of Rodrigo, trying to prevent, you know, some strikes and create some distance there. And, you know, we see Roman going from an open guard to a closed guard, and at this point here, an open guard, and it's deciding to stand back up, take the fight back to the feet.
And they're back to standing. Nice three-punch combination by Roman Roitberg, and a sweep takedown, and a reverse by Ruas. Beautiful sequence. Oh,
Roman locking in an armbar there.
He's going for the leg. What a beautiful sequence of action. That's going to make the highlight reel. That was beautiful. Roman Roitberg came in with a 1-2-3. Ruas shot for the takedown. That was the, oh, nice elbows by Ruas. It looked like Roitberg had that armbar.
I tell you, Ruas did a nice job to escape that. Like, I'm anxious to see the replay.
Yeah, it looked like he had the armbar. If it would have been a less accomplished referee, it would have looked like he tapped. But
we'll have to wait to see that one on replay. It was a good exchange.
That was a very fast exchange for them to roll from position to position. And back to a little bit of stalemate. These guys are both strategists. No, neither one of them have gotten lumped up from strikes. And back to standing. Oh, nice low kick standing up. Good move by Roitberg. He stood up when Ruas was standing up and cracked him with a low kick right below the thigh. Goes for the high kick.
Nice high roundhouse by Roman. Locking up there, going back down to the ground once again in Roman's guard.
I tell you, as you said earlier, Stephen, Roitberg doesn't even appear to defend the takedown from Ruas.
No, he doesn't, because he's so confident on the ground. It depends on how the judges are scoring the takedowns.
30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Referee imploring them to fight their way out of it. Real good technical match here. We've seen a lot of good things in this fight. We've seen punches, kicks, knees, elbows, guard, mount, reversals. I would have to say that Roitberg has landed the harder shots, and in that little sequence almost got that armbar, so he might be inching ahead just barely.
I tell you, from the bottom here in the guard, Roman Roitberg's been very active in taking the strikes to Ruas from the bottom. He's creating small distances, creating small jabs, punches, etc.
Absolutely, Wade.
Yeah, this has been a real textbook fight. If you want to see the repertoire of a no-holds-barred fighter, this fight, both men are relaxed. And here we go with a replay. Now here comes a real nice punch combination, good left hook. And then we see Ruas, nice sweep.
Nice leg trip.
And there is a nice little elevator by Ruas.
Beautiful elevator.
But Roitberg goes for that arm bar, and Ruas pops out, gets out of control, and then looked like he was going to go for a knee bar there, but Roitberg got his way out of it. Nice sequence.
Very, very nice sequence. Very technical sequence.
That was so technical. It was almost as if they had choreographed it, but I know they don't, because these fighters, these are real fights, unlike, you know, professional wrestling or something. That sequence was a classic. Left, right, left, takedown, arm bar attempt, knee bar attempt, back into guard. Beautiful.
Wait, going into round 3, how do you see the fight thus far?
I tell you, I have to say that Roitberg has imposed his will pretty much on Rodrigo
I think you're
Ruas.
absolutely right.
But Roitberg came out and landed that front kick right to the face of Ruas. Good punch to Ruas's face.
Beautiful display of boxing there.
Roitberg is coming right out with some really good kickboxing skills. Came out right out with that left high kick and then cracked him with a right front kick to the face. He's got him in a headlock position.
There we see Rodrigo working the back of Roman, and he might be in trouble here.
But that elbow might come flying up there. If he throws that right spiraling elbow, there's a foot stomp.
Rodrigo needs to do exactly what he's doing, keeping his head glued to the back of Roman to help prevent, you know.
There's the elbow. There's those stomps. Marco Ruas, in some ways, was the one who brought those stomps to the American public in UFC 7. But now Roitberg is using them on Horace's student.
You see Rodrigo there trying to work a takedown.
Roitberg's going to spin that elbow and face him. I expect him to spin and face any second now.
Tim, do you think he'll try to get the throat of Roitberg from the rear here?
Actually, I do. If he can establish it in a quick pace, most definitely that would be what he would want to do, and he does successfully take Roman down.
Nice rolling takedown by Roman Ruas, by Rodrigo Ruas. Roman is down on the ground on the bottom of the side mount.
Ruas had many, many possibilities there once he had the back of Roman. There's many things he could, attempt to take down and work a choke from that position. There was just endless possibilities, but unfortunately it just didn't work out in that way.
Yeah, one thing, having a 19-pound weight disadvantage, Ruas probably wouldn't have tried a suplex. Nice
Beautiful escape again once by Roman. I believe that's the third time that we've seen Roman keep his composure and reverse the position to his favor once again.
I think sweat has a lot to do with this because the bodies are very slippery and it's hard. Oh, nice
right hand.
Beautiful right hand by Roman Roitberg. That rocked Ruas. Ruas flashes back with his own left hook. I expect possibly a knockdown. These guys are going to trade some bombs here. They want to establish dominance. They know it's a close fight. They know they've got to eke out. Ruas is going back. Roman goes to the body with the right hand.
I'll tell you, Stephen, I'm impressed with Roman Roitberg.
So am I. Very patient fighter. Great working from the guard.
Roman looking very comfortable there as usual.
Okay, we're approaching 15 seconds left in the third and final round. There's TK and Mo looking on. I think they feel that their fighter has the fight under control. There's no yelling. There's no desperation in their corner. Mark is looking at his... And we have a little bit less than 1 minute left. Ruas has to get busy here. He's got to really try and steal this round.
Stephen, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ruas look for the legendary Marco Ruas heel hook or sit for a submission here. I think he has some points to make up on the judges' cards.
Problem being the sweat factor.
Yes, you're right.
Don't work well with all these sweat.
Very, very tough.
Roman going to go for that armbar again.
See an armbar attempt, exactly, Steven. Roman once again staying very active from the bottom position, going from an open to a closed guard with his right foot in the hip, controlling the distance, throwing some short chopping blows to the head of Ruas.
Yeah, I like when a fighter's on the bottom in the guard and throws the uppercut. All those little tapping blows to the ears. And there it is, the end of the fight. A real technical match. A great show of sportsmanship there. Marco and Maurice, even though they fought, are friends. There actually is no rivalry whatsoever between the two camps.
Judges will tally up the scores.
was a great technical fight. There's Roitberg. I think what we saw in that fight was a lot of maturity by both fighters. If you go out there in a rage, in a hurry, you make a mistake, you get submitted, or you get knocked out. They both know that. Coming from Maurice Smith and Marco Ruas, all that experience, they learn from that experience. That way they make less mistakes.
And they also learn composure, and they learn positions. And positioning is such a key factor in these type of matchups. When you work the positions and you've been in them before, it doesn't surprise you.
Okay, here we go. A little replay action. Nice high kick attempt by Roitberg. And Roitberg goes with a right front kick, cracked him right on the jaw. Beautiful shot. Ruas tries to return a low kick and comes in. And Roitberg's got his hands down, tries another high kick. Ruas spins, and Roitberg lands that left hook. Now, Roitberg's got a little bit of a guillotine attempt, real loose. Just taking his time. Nice left hook by Ruas. That rocked him. That was a good shot right on the chin. You know, Roitberg can take a shot.
I think both these fighters took a couple of shots here. Great fight. Great fight. Very technical fight, Stephen.
Yeah. Both men look like they could go for another round. We've seen fighters in World Extreme Fighting fight 1 or 2 rounds that look like they're ready to quit. These men look like they could go another 2-3 rounds.
Again, as you parlayed through earlier, Stephen, I think that's just a factor of their trainers and their coaching.
Yeah. And here we have the judges tallying up they're checking it twice. It has to be a little bit on the close side because there was no clear-cut dominance by one man or another. Although I feel that Roitberg did land the cleaner shots and did do the better reversals. Who else did go? Okay, we're going to go to
3-minute overtime.
Okay, so the fight has been declared a draw, and we go to the 3-minute overtime. I think that's fair, don't you guys?
Sure, absolutely.
Most definitely. Both fighters are still looking very fresh, and I still believe have a point to prove. So I'm very excited about the overtime here that we're going into.
It's a good decision by our judges.
Stephen, as you're aware, in World Extreme Fighting, there are no draws. There is always a winner. We're on a 10-point must system here. We always work into overtime, and we're always looking for a winner of the bout.
Yeah, there will not be a draw after this round. And here we have Todd Fredrickson imploring the crowd to get into it. I don't think they need that, but he's a real character up there. Nice low kick attempt. Ruas blocks. Ruas blocks again. I think we're going to see some stand-up this time. Ruas going for that squeeze takedown. This time, Mr. Roitberg is defending the takedown.
Roitberg was able to turn Ruas, putting his back into the cage there. And I think if Roman can keep that position, you'll see a lot of foot stomps as well as knees possibly to the midsection as well as to the thighs.
Yeah, we see the knee to the thigh there by Roitberg. Small little chopping knees, not going to really do a lot, but eventually they're going to give you a Charlie horse, especially if you wind up. Okay, now this is a whole new fight because at a draw, the previous 3 rounds do not count. This round is the only round that counts. The winner of this round wins the fight.
Tim, do you feel that plays to perhaps Rodrigo Ruas's advantage?
Yes, I actually do, Wade. Good point. As we see Ruas take the back once again of Roman. But to get back to the answer to your question, Wade, Ruas seemed to actually have struggled a little bit with Roman a little bit on the ground and on the feet earlier in the 3 previous rounds. So I believe this is a fresh start for Ruas, and hopefully we'll be able to see him establish more of his game plan against Roman.
I think in a fight where both fighters really respect each other and possibly have no animosity, nice knee, have no animosity, sometimes it leads to more of a technical fight, whereas if there's some bad blood, they go out there and try and knock each other. There's that Ruas takedown. Nice little takedown.
I tell you, Rodrigo really needs to get busy from here. He needs to establish some points, perhaps establish a side mount and work some strikes from here to get some scoring going on the judges' cards.
And I believe he heard you, Wade, because it looks like he did establish a side mount position there as we look on at the 2 fighters.
We got less than 1 minute left in the overtime round. Nice knee, knee.
Beautiful knee combination as Roman works a headlock and a left hook to the face.
Not a lot of power in those knees, but enough to score points. Looks good to a judge.
Well, I tell you, Stephen, Rodrigo Ruas's arm was in between the knee and his head there, so he did a nice job of countering it, although it still plays impact on your head.
Yes, it does.
30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds.
Believe me, I know.
One right here.
What's interesting, Stephen, is I watched the corner of Roman Reutberg between the rounds and before the overtime round, and they worked on this position. They were working on this position for the majority of the round. So he obviously wanted Reutberg to employ a different strategy for this type of
and 10 seconds left in the fight.
10 seconds.
It's going to be a hard one to score. Oh, I think he just won the round.
That might have won the fight. You're exactly right,
I think he just
Steven.
won the round.
Beautiful left-right combination.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Reutberg pulled it out with a nice little 2-3 punch flurry there. Right hand cracked Ruas on the jaw. Ruas took the shot. Didn't do a great deal of damage, but nonetheless, judges score points. Those were points. That might have just done it. We will go now to the judges to the final decision for the overtime round, and they go back and re-congratulate the opposing corner.
Stephen, do you think that last second flurry by Reutberg was reminiscent of a Maurice Smith round-stealing flurry?
Yeah. Like I said before, like father, like son, like teacher, like students. I think Maurice is proud of his students. Okay, now here we go. Reutberg is on the bottom, and Reutberg just scoots right out and pops back up. A beautiful escape from the side mount.
This is right to those knees.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom.
Nice little knees there.
Here's the last closing flurry.
And both right hands landed, but the left hook.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. Before we go on, how about a big warm round of applause for both these fighters right here? The overtime was scored. Judge number 1 scored the bout 10-10 draw. Judge number 2 scored the bout 10-9 Ruas. Judge number 3 scored the bout 10-10 draw. It's a majority draw.
We have a draw.
That's right, Tim. We have a draw. Could have gone with Reutberg on that, but I don't have a problem with the draw. Marco doesn't seem too happy.
I tell you, Stephen, in my understanding of the rules, there's not a draw. I think a majority draw actually is a decision in World Extreme Fighting. We'll have to check with the judges and the event promoter, Jamie Levine, and find out what the actual ruling is there.
And our next fight coming up. And here he comes. Mr. Hibler. Eric Hibler from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 5'8", 156 pounds. He's got an interesting record of 0-1. He's glad to be back in World Extreme Fighting. He's a strong puncher, very aggressive, and he's got a deep bag of tricks.
Stephen, Eric Hibler is actually an instructor of mixed martial arts. If you ask him, he'll tell you he's self-styled. He suffered a quick knockout against a relatively inexperienced Marco Marcera in World Extreme Fighting 7 in our last event. This is definitely redemption for him. Looking forward to see what he has.
Mike Cordoza.
Michael Cordoza. I think that's a misprint. He's not 6'2" and 250. I think he's more about 5'5" and 150. But I'm sure he'd appreciate the compliment. Perhaps he fights that size. Mike Cordoza is the former World Extreme Fighting lightweight champion. Lost his title to Ken Allen. He's got excellent leg locks. He's in great shape, and he's an opportunist. He'll win the fight if you give him the advantage.
So it's going to be Hibler versus Cordoza. And let's throw it up to T.J. Thompson for the introduction. Tail of the tape, we got Cordoza, 23 years old, 5'4", 150 pounds with a 64-inch reach. Where Hibler is 36 years old, that's 13 years, 5'8", 156 pounds with a 68.5-inch reach. And now let's go to our very dapper T.J. Thompson for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee for the next bout will be President of the North American Grappling Association, Mr. Kip Kolar. And ladies and gentlemen, fighting to my left in the black trunks trimmed in white. Professional fighting record of 3 wins against only 1 loss. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Eric Hibbler. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight in the white trunks trimmed in black. A professional fighting record of 9 wins against only 1 loss, from Miami, Florida, Mike Cordusa. On Kip Kolar's command.
Kip Kolar looks glad to be there. These 2 gentlemen are ready to roll.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's fight!
Kipler's coming out, circling around, southpaw position. Cordoza, they're taking their time here, feeling each other out. Nice low kick, a little bit of a shoot on the kick by Cordoza, pulls guard. Hibbler's got a half base high.
To reflect on something that Eric Hibbler said the other day at the pre-fight interviews, he said that in his spare time he enjoys cross-training and teaching girls and women in this sport and self-defense. But I believe he probably had to put that activity to the side and train with some more gamed opponents.
Now that was a great kick from the bottom by Cordoza.
Cordoza going back to his back, looking to, looks like he's looking some kind of maybe a leg lock. Back to half guard or half mount for Eric Hibbler.
Cordoza is dangerous from the bottom. He can throw the up kick real good.
Stephen, he's a very, very strong fighter, Cordoza. I've seen him fight probably 6 to 8 times, and I've trained with him. He's very, very dangerous on the ground, very dangerous. And as I said before, he's an opportunist. Nice straight right hand by Hibbler there into the face of Cordoza.
Cordoza's got a real hard shoot there. Pulls him down into a slow double leg into the guard. Eric Hibbler trains with Eric Paulson, who is the world light heavyweight Shooto champion.
Nice look at Mike Cordoza working from the guard of Eric Hibbler.
Both these men are coming off a loss, so I think they really want to work to get into the winner's circle, so I think they're going to work aggressively.
Mike Cordoza's loss came to Ken Allen in World Extreme Fighting 6, which was a title fight. Went 3 rounds plus an overtime and was a judge's split decision. Very, very close fight. So I'm sure Cordoza's looking to get back on top of his game here.
Also in attendance tonight is, to the top middle of your screen, celebrity photographer Susumu Nagao, who's right behind our gentleman reloading his camera. He's well known in Japan, one of the top photographers in the martial art business, Susumu Nagao. And directly to the left is Marcelo Alonso of Otatami Magazine in Brazil. Either man has done a lot of damage. I would have to say Cordoza has controlled the match to some extent, though.
Cordoza landed an effective kick from the bottom and also got the takedown. So interesting to see what happens here.
Cordoza went for the kick, moved back. I think with mixed martial arts, a lot of the stand-up fighting, they tend to load up their techniques. Okay, we have 30 seconds left. Oh, nice right hook.
Nice combination.
Nice right hook by Hibbler.
Cordoza willingly goes to his back as he doesn't want to stand up with Eric Hibbler.
What Hibbler needs to do is just step straight back and turn it back into a stand fight.
I tell you, I've seen Mike Cordoza employ this technique before. He'll stand up top. If he doesn't like the way it's going, he'll drop right to the guard and try to get the coax the fighter in.
And there we go. End of round 1. Hibbler made a little bit of a comeback. Don't know if it was enough to steal the round. But we have Mike Cordoza.
I tell you, both fighters look to be in excellent shape here. Neither fighter seems to be breathing too hard.
And here's the up kick from Mike Cordoza. He's scooting back and then crack. Oh, that was beautiful. He threw the left roundhouse kick to the leg, then the right roundhouse kick to the head. Very impressive. Then he pulls guard again. Actually pulled them out. Okay, Hibbler comes in. Oh, it was a nice left hand by Cordoza, but Hibbler comes back, throws a couple punches, and down goes Cordoza with a little front kick.
Round 2.
Here we go, round 2. Hibbler versus Cordoza.
Nice single leg shot by Cordoza.
He's got that leg. Hibbler's working out.
Beautiful takedown, strong takedown.
But Hibbler's almost got back on that. But Cordoza was not doing anything.
Moving, guys.
Hibbler doing a nice job off that takedown and pulling Cordoza right into his guard. Yeah, Hibbler's guard is very well versed.
For a man who's got his own style, he does have a deep bag of tricks, as he professed.
We see Cordoza, passing over the leg of Hibbler, trying to establish a side mount or half mount position for himself.
If Cordoza could get any leverage, well, it's too late now, but he could have thrown that left knee. But Hibbler probably saw the technique coming. Got back in the guard.
I tell you, Stephen, in the previous fights that I've seen Cordoza in, he's not much of a striker from the ground. He's more of a submission stylist. I'd look for him to work for a submission and probably miss plenty of opportunities for the strike here.
It's a little bit of a slow pace here. I think the crowd might get a little antsy until some action happens. Both men are trying to neutralize the other.
Go, you gotta work, I'm gonna break you.
And a referee, Kip Kohler. Oh, nice kicks. Trying to up kick him there. Barely missed with a double up kick.
Cordoza passing the guard beautifully, textbook style.
Tim, what are the fighters looking for there?
Actually, at this point here, what Cordoza wants to do is establish that strong side mount position where he'll have a number of possibilities of where he can either mount or he could actually finish the position, or the fight from that side mount position as well. We have different key lock attacks, as well as knee strikes to the ribs and to the bodies, as well as, he could throw the one leg over and mount Eric Hibbler and be able to rain punches down on Hibbler, as well as in the fight with numerous types of arm blocks. As for Eric Hibbler, he wants to try to regain guard and try to get back to a guard position and contain Cordoza a little bit by keeping him in the center there, as we see a beautiful reversal.
That was a nice reversal. Hammerlock around the head, spun around. Now he's on top. It's the first time we've really seen Hibbler on top in this round.
Yeah, we'll get a good look at Cordoza's guard here.
1 minute, keep working.
That's what Hibbler can do. You see Cordoza trying those little chopping kicks. Those were first put out into the consciousness of the world by Royce Gracie when he fought in the UFC some years back.
Hold that fence, Eric. I'm going to break you.
There we see a butterfly guard by Cordoza on the bottom, trying to stretch out Eric Hibbler.
Cordoza has experience in the cage. He's going to look to turn his head away from there. I think that was his attempt with that butterfly guard to create some space and get himself turned towards the back towards the center of the ring.
Oh, he's going up high for that. He's going for a spin. Now,
15 seconds.
it's a slow-paced match. Judges will have their work cut out for them. Close to the end of round 2, 5 seconds left. A lot of strategy, a lot of grappling, jockeying for position on the ground. interesting.
What do you think, Tim? Any thoughts on the first 2 rounds so far?
I think this was an excellent matchup. I see Cardoza, as you mentioned, being the better positioning fighter. He's been able to establish better positions and control the fight a little bit better on the ground with different positions
Trying to stay out of the way, but the
and trying to close the fight. As far as Eric Hibbler, he seems to be a little bit more active on the ground as far as throwing the strikes, trying to take Cardoza out of his game plan. So going into round 3, I look for one fighter trying to dominate one way or the other.
Okay, here we go, and Hibbler's on the bottom, and Hibbler just does a great twisting reversal here. He uses his hips, and he spins his body, pushes his hips up, and bucks his hips, and nice reversal into Cardoza's guard. Textbook. Here we go, round 3, and they're in action already. Hibbler has got a little bit of a guillotine choke, but Cardoza is not going to get caught in this because Hibbler doesn't have it fully cinched underneath.
Hibbler needs to have his left hand in there as well, grabbing each wrist and extending his guard, extending the legs out, stretching the head away from the body of Cardoza to make that guillotine
I think Cardoza might be in a little bit of trouble, even though he has his arm in there. He's having to deal with this. Hibbler's got to make sure not to squeeze too much energy away, and okay, he gave it up.
Excellent point, Stephen. I think that's exactly what you have to be careful with there. That move is either going to work or it isn't, and you can waste a lot of energy trying to close it out.
Exactly. So here we are back. Eric Hibbler on the bottom. Guard around Mike Cardoza.
I tell you, Stephen, the crowd does definitely not seem to favor these type of technical ground-based fights. You can hear some boos resounding out of the crowd. This is a technical fight, and it's going to be one for the judges, to say the least.
Well, no holds barred fighting when it came to America in 1993. Oh, beautiful sweep! Eric Hibbler swept him flat over on his back, and Eric Hibbler back up. That was fantastic. So you never know in mixed martial arts what's going to happen. Eric Hibbler's trying to land a kick. Cardoza's down back. Okay, Eric Hibbler wants him to stand up. Beautiful move. They want to see punches. They want to see kicks. They want to see a little bit more action than the guard and working for position in a straight jiu-jitsu match. Okay, Cardoza's got him close, and down they go, same position. As I was saying before, when no holds barred fighting first came to America in 1993, there were no rounds. It was just a straight blaster as long as it went. One of the reasons I believe why they instituted the rounds is to avoid having to restart the fighters into a standing position. When you restart them into a standing position, it gives them a chance to land punches and kicks, which in many ways, in America at least, they consider that more of an action-packed fight than for people working on the ground, such as this in a jiu-jitsu or a shoot wrestling match.
I agree with you, Stephen. There seems to be a
nice little flurry there. Hibbler has got that nice sweep from the bottom. And I would have thought, it looks like that leg's exposed. He's got to make sure he doesn't get heel hooked. He's got right up. Nice right hand by Hibbler. Hibbler's really turning up the heat here. 1 minute left in the last round. Hibbler has really turned up the heat a notch in the last 2 minutes. A couple beautiful sweeps from the bottom. A couple good punches. He's landing the most significant blows, and he does seem most confident on his feet. Attempted shoot off the low kick by Hibbler. Cardoza shoots for the takedown.
Nice sprawl by Eric Hibbler.
Working the underhook on the one side, not enough. Cardoza squeezes it back into the guard. Hibbler on the bottom.
20 seconds, guys. Keep working. Finish strong.
Okay, we got 15 seconds left.
both fighters appear to just be relaxing and catching a wind here. Hibbler stayed busier even on the ground, in my estimation.
I would have to say that this was more of a safe fight. Okay, and that's the end of the round.
Let's go, get up.
Third and final round over. This was more of a safe fight, I think, for both gentlemen. I respect the fact that they would fight defensively, but you get into the discussion of whether fighting is for sport or for entertainment. The crowd pays money. They want to see action, but sometimes when you do an action-packed fight, you leave yourself open for a loss. Some of the greatest fighters that are action-packed, for example, Tank Abbott or Derek Goodrich, do lose half their fights, but they're very popular with the crowd.
Wade, what are the judges looking for here? As we saw Cordoza have more of a game plan as far as using his positioning, where Eric Hibler was more of a striker on the ground. So how do you think what would sway the judges one way or the other?
I think that the fact that one fighter stays busy on the ground and on the top, as we take a look at the replay here.
And here's that Eric Hibler's on the bottom. Nice. That was a straight arm elevator. A straight arm elevator. Cordoza didn't even have time to work on an arm bar from that position. And here's a nice right hand by Hibler. Another one misses. But he is throwing the punches. He is initiating the attacks. It's going to really factor in on the judging. It's going to be a close call for the judges.
And Tim, I think exactly as Stephen touched on there, that's exactly what the judges are looking for. They're looking for the fighter who doesn't necessarily score the takedown, but who stays busy, who scores the punches.
There will be a 3-minute overtime.
And it appears as though this fight was as close as we thought, as the judges sent it to overtime.
Another fight goes to overtime.
And I believe another good call as well by the judges. Don't you believe, Stephen?
Absolutely. Really good call. Both men neutralized each other. One man or another did not establish dominance. So we go to the final 3-minute overtime. There will be a decision in this one, or at least we hope there will be, unlike the Huas Reutberg fight. Let's hope they get busy. And here they go. Final round, overtime. Pushes him down, kicks him.
Great defense of Cordoza's tackle there by Eric Hibler. You see Cordoza working some kicks from his back there, working an open guard, taunting Eric Hibler to come down.
We've seen this position in Japanese events quite a bit, but many of the Japanese fighters have a way of dealing with it. Looks like Eric Hibler just backs up and turns it into a stand-up fight again, which is fine.
Well, Mike Cordoza motioned to Hibler to come into his guard and at least get it to the mat.
He didn't come into the guard that time. He almost came into a beautiful roundhouse kick to the head. He's got that leg on top. Nice strikes by Hibler. He's getting busy here. Ground and pound time. Ground and pound. Pops back up. Hibler's in total control of this round.
I'd have to agree with you, Stephen.
He's totally taking control. I would wonder if Cordoza is losing his conditioning at this point.
I see the possibility of a mount position here as Cordoza goes back to his full guard.
I think what Hibler needs to do is not play the ground game here with Cordoza, because it's just a slow game that he may or may not win. When he works from the top and standing, he lands the better strikes and he does get the better positions, although he's got a good sweep from the bottom.
He does seem to play well from the guard on the bottom, but I agree with you, Stephen. On the top, he simply has gotten busy on Mike Cordoza. Cordoza's been perfectly content to lay on his back and invite him into the guard. Hibler's told the ref, bring him back up. Let's fight here.
Because the previous 3 rounds don't factor into this, we have 1 minute left in the overtime. I would have to say that Cordoza has got to get busy. We got Hibler with a pretty serious neck crank here. Cordoza's got to get busy.
At this point, Eric Hibler is cranking on the neck of Mike Cordoza, trying to open his legs. And sufficient attempt.
Almost.
Hibler is able to pull out of it.
Hibler's on his way here. He just can't make a mistake.
This is a very dangerous position when you have a fighter on his back and a fighter on his feet. You can't be in the middle. You either have to be on top of the fighter or...
Nice knee by Hibler. That landed right on the button. That might have cut him.
20 seconds, guys, 20 seconds.
With 20 seconds left in the overtime period, I don't think a cut's going to determine the outcome of the fight here, though, Stephen.
I don't think so. I think you're right. That was a great knee. I would have to say that Hibler's got this one in the bag. 5 seconds left. Hibler just needs to coast at this point. No possible way to get submitted. And there it is. You know, gentlemen, that final round made up in some ways for the slow first 3 rounds.
I'd agree. Absolutely, Stephen.
Look at Hibbler playing to the crowd. Well, he got them excited. They were a little lukewarm early on in the fight, but after that solid finish.
Nice display of sportsmanship by both fighters. Mike Cardoza goes over to shake the hand of Eric Hibbler's corner.
And now, let's go up to T.J. Thompson. Actually, he's rounding up the judges' scorecards. And let's go up to T.J. Thompson for the final decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. The winner in the black trunks from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Eric Hibbler.
Wade and Steven, your thoughts on this victory for Eric Hibbler?
This victory, Eric Hibbler was 0-1. And that means you lose your pro debut. That's not a good sign, but he's excited. Look at him, he's bouncing around the ring. A very affable gentleman. When we interviewed him yesterday, he was one of the funnier interviews. He had some pretty animated things to say. I think this victory really launches his confidence. It helps his students. Let's go to a replay. Hibbler here, Cardoza goes for the shoot. Hibbler neutralizes and cracks that knee. That was a hard knee to the head of Cardoza. Good thing it didn't knock him out. Cardoza did take the shot, can take a shot. There's our man right there, Eric Hibbler. Woo, he's pumped. Now that's good showmanship. Now let's go to our next fight. David Dodd from Phoenix, Arizona versus George Allen from Atlanta, Georgia. This is going to be a good one. Here comes David Dodd, 6'2", 199 pounds. We'll talk about that later, Wade. Record of 10-3, Phoenix, Arizona.
As you noted, or parlayed to earlier, Stephen, David Dodd cutting down to an amazing 199 pounds. He's a submission specialist, and I'll bet you his conditioning is top-notch, having made 199 pounds. That's a big cut for a well-muscled 6'2" man.
Absolutely. And his opponent, George Allen.
And we hear the hometown crowd roar as George Allen, being a native of the state of Georgia here.
6'2", 250 pounds. 6-4 is his record. He is the hometown favorite. And he's a pro boxer, he's a wrestler, he's a hometown boy.
I tell you, Stephen, he doesn't appear to be 250 pounds.
No, he doesn't.
I think that may be a best friend. At weigh-ins, I believe he weighed between 193 and 195. He was right in the 195 range.
And let's go to the tail of the tape. George Allen. Playing to the crowd. Okay, let's send it up to T.J. Thompson for the formal introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter on my left wearing the black trunks trimmed in white. Professional fighting record of 8 wins against only 5 losses from Mesa, Arizona. Please welcome David Dodd. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the black trunks from Atlanta, Georgia, George Allen. On Gibbs command.
believe Allen arrived today to fight.
But George Allen, being a local Atlanta native,
Goes for that kick, and David Dodd just takes him right down. Oh, there's a wild match already, folks. A lot of tumbling right.
David Dodd being very, very aggressive, looking for an early crucifix there.
He's got him almost.
There we see a crucifix move again, but a reversal out of it by George Allen.
Stephen, David Dodd is a U.S. Marine Corps judo champion. He's well accomplished on his feet, although I don't...
Oh, big right hand by Dodd. He dropped him to one knee. That would have been a knockdown in boxing. Boy, that was a great right hand.
I tell you, and coming into this fight, we were told George Allen had the heavy hands, but at the early go of it, David Dodd appears to have gotten the better.
That caught him right on the chin.
Speaking with David Dodd before the fight as well, at the pre-fight interviews, he did mention that he was working on his boxing skills very hard there and back home. So not surprised to see him connect with that good shot that he did.
Well, if he lands many more shots like this fight will be over quick. Oh, nice little move there. Dodd's going for that single leg, and he gets it. Into the side mount. Into the, he's got his back.
Okay, George Allen giving his back. I'm not really sure why he did it that quick.
Bad move, bad move. Dodd's got at least one leg hook sunk in.
Dodd's a little high here. He needs to improve his position if he's going to work towards a rear naked choke. If he's not careful, Kip Kohler will stand him up from this position. I don't think that'll happen, though.
You're right, Wade. A little too high for the rear naked, but he could step over with his right leg onto the other side of the head for the arm bar because they are so high. And he does have that arm and forearm hooked of George Allen. So good setup there for an arm lock.
I tell you, Tim, what maybe going through David Dodd's mind here is if he rolls that arm lock, he's rolling into the cage, and you never know what the outcome of hitting that wall is going to be. So
looks like George is moving, and he might be moving right into the choke. He moved right into the choke. He better spin out.
This is a bad position for George Allen to be in. Although I tell you, David Dodd's got to be very careful not to cross his feet here. If he crosses his feet and George Allen loops over, he'll break an ankle.
George is defending well, but Dodd is the aggressor here.
David Dodd with 13 professional fights and a UFC veteran, he's certainly accomplished. I wouldn't be surprised to see him wait this out a little bit for the prime opportunity. But one of the things that a lot of these fighters usually do to secure this naked choke is come under the nose to get the head elevated. You'll see a lot of the Brazilian fighters will come right under the nose, applying pressure upwards, opening up the throat, and then come underneath with the other hand, working for the rear naked choke. I have a feeling that technique would work here if Dodd could employ it.
George is getting those hips up high, which is good, but he's got to try and get facing. Nice move. Almost. Oh, no. He's in a bad position here.
David Dodd looks as though he's going to try to transition into an arm bar here.
It's going to be hard up against the fence like that, though.
But he slips in the rear naked.
He looks like he's got it almost. George has got to spin out. He's got to spin out.
That's deep. That's sunk right there. His right arm is sunk into the choke.
Looks like he may have it, even if he does just pull it straight back. Nope, he's out.
Nope, he's out.
There it is. Oh, it's going to be hard to get out of that.
It's sunk in pretty deep.
It's going to be hard to get out of that. George is... Oh,
I tell you, George Allen's chin may be dug down just a little bit deep here for Dodd to finish it with that
George escaped again, but I don't think it's going to... George is moving and going for the arm bar. George spins out. Oh, tough position. I don't want to see George get hurt in this.
That's it.
He tapped. 4 minutes.
David Dodd, very, very aggressive, wins by submission. David Dodd at 199 pounds. All that work looks like it paid off, Stephen.
He came out on fire, Tim.
I think he found his weight.
I think he did. He was ripped. You know, George Allen gave him a tough go on the ground. He almost got out. But once he got his back, he never relented in going for the submission.
Dodd was very patient.
Absolutely.
Dodd's a patient fighter, and with his experience, you know, it was just a matter of time for him waiting on the position on the back there.
David Dodd showing some good cross-training skills.
And let's throw it to T.J. Thompson.
Official time, 3 minutes, 59 seconds, round number 1. Armbar submission from Mesa, Arizona, David Dodd.
beautiful victory for Dodd. He looks great at 199.
He sure does.
And here we go. Dodd shoots in with a jab. George Allen moves back, and there's that right hand. That was a clean knockdown. And George was in trouble. And here we go. He's sinking. He's got one leg hook in and tries to work his way out. He's going for the arm bar, and he pulls it back. George tries to spin out, but he's got the upside down arm bar, and he just turns it up until George finally gives it up. There he is, very elated. David Dodd.
Ian Jarvis, the trainer and manager for David Dodd, as well as a few other fighters out of Arizona, leans over to congratulate him.
Okay, and here we go, our next fight. Jorge Pereira from Rio de Janeiro versus Matt Hughes from Charleston, Illinois. This fight is going to be interesting, gentlemen. We have a top Brazilian against one of the top Americans in his weight.
Yes, we do, Stephen.
George Pereira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stylist, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 6 feet, 179 pounds, record 9-1. His only loss was to Jose Pele Landi, who is the main event tonight, and that was on a cut. He didn't tap.
As I recall, Stephen, I don't remember the official time of that, but that was a long, drawn-out war between these two guys. He's a great submission. He's an old-school submission guy. I tell you, he's got a lot of heart, and he's quite a character. We had a chance to talk to him at the weigh-ins, and he's something else, isn't he, Stephen?
Yes, he is. And coming into the octagon now, Matt Hughes.
Along with his twin brother, Mark.
That's a tough one. I wonder if they exchange fighting, or one guy fights and the other guy stays out. Matt Hughes won the best of the best Extreme Challenge tournament, and he's from Charleston, Illinois, 5'8", 176 pounds, record of 14-1. That's a good record.
Matt Hughes also had an impressive win in the last UFC.
And let's go to the tail of the tape. He's got incredible strength, benches 450 pounds. Whoa, and he's a great wrestler and a heavy hitter.
At 176 pounds, that's over twice his body weight. I tell you, he looked very impressive against Val Ignatov in the UFC. He laid some leather on Ignatov for the entire fight.
And here we have the tail of the tape. Pereira, 35 years old, 9 years older than Hughes, 6 feet tall, 176 pounds, 74-inch reach. Matt Hughes, 26, 5'8", 176 pounds, 70.5 inches. And we're going to throw it up to TJ Thompson for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout. The fighter to my left in the blue trunks, trimmed in light blue. Hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, please welcome Jorge Pereira. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight. In the black trunks, trimmed in white. From Charlestown, Illinois, Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes, he's a very accomplished fighter. At 14-1, he brings a strong record in here. He's very experienced. I tell you, this guy is ready to rock and roll tonight.
Yeah, looks like George is ready too, and here they go, folks. Pereira has been training in boxing with Helio Santana, but he's originally trained by Rickson Gracie.
Matt Hughes has a nice takedown from here.
Looks like he's got it halfway in. Pereira's almost working the guard already. He's almost just giving up the takedown. pulling guard, trying to go high with the legs.
Hughes waits and drops both their body weights onto the canvas. About a minute into the first round. Round 1 of 3 6-minute rounds. So a step up in the time frames here for this fight.
With a 3-minute overtime if it should go to a dispute. I expect to see Matt pull up and start to unleash some bombs at any moment.
Matt's certainly not afraid to strike from the ground or from the guard. So I agree with you, Stephen. I think he's probably going to rear up here and look for some strikes.
Looks like he's getting ready. Pushing up, but Pereira is dangerous.
You see as Matt stands to throw strikes, Pereira also puts a foot in the hip.
Big time punches by Matt Hughes. Pereira got up slow. Matt Hughes capitalized, dropped the punch.
Back to the close guard for Jorge Pereira.
I tell you, it's amazing how quickly the tide can turn in a fight. Split-second decision by Jorge to finally get up. Gets up a little too slow. Hughes lands a nice punch right to the head, and right back to the mat we go.
And Jorge has spit out his mouthpiece. Not a wise move. He's pounding away with a hammer fist. Without the mouthpiece, that's a dangerous situation. I've seen fighters lose teeth in these kind of fights. With the mouthpiece.
Jorge's doing a nice job of trying to turn himself off his cage. Hughes, with his experience and his hips, is trying to keep Jorge up against the fence.
Like I said before, Hughes is unleashing those bombs. George is pushing away, backing back up.
Jorge looks awful winded after getting back up. You know, he gets up and his hands were down. I'm sure that toll took a lot out of, Matt's a very strong and aggressive fighter, and to have that type of fighter laying on top of you, pressing the fight, is very exhausting.
It's like Hughes is stalking him, a wild jab thrown. Jorge just moves back.
Jorge takes a lunge with a jab at Hughes, unsuccessful. Hughes counters and drives him back into the cage.
And he pulls guard. He's got it guillotined, but
look for a big takedown.
Big slam, right? He's going to go to the center of the ring. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going for that center. Oh, yeah! A big slam.
I tell you, Stephen, the strategy here that most people may not know is the center of this ring is the firmest point as there's a cross member there. That's a good thought by Matt Hughes to lift Jorge to the air, take him to the center of the mat, and look for the knockout on the takedown, as we saw Ken Shamrock do against Igor Zinoviev in a previous no-holds-barred event.
Yeah, now Matt is almost got the mount. He could be working that right knee to George's head. But George is neutralizing that to a certain extent. It was a big takedown. There's a body slam.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Stephen. It was a takedown pronunciated.
Fortunately,
and enunciated.
Exactly.
And exclamated.
Fortunately, he landed on his back rather than his head.
You're right. I tell you, if Hughes
a la Val Ignatov.
Yes. If Hughes could have got him turned to have the impact a little more towards Jorge's shoulders and head, that's more punishing than any blow you can offer with your hand or a foot.
It might have been a knockout.
Here we see Jorge working back into the guard, which is exactly what any fighter that would be in the side mount on the bottom would want to do.
I tell you, Tim, Hughes does not seem particularly concerned when he's in the guard, or doesn't seem to make attempts to pass the guard. He seems to tend to strike from here, as he's doing effectively.
Now that right hand landed. The first two missed, but he's landing punches now.
Hughes passes to the half guard based on those strikes, Stephen.
The first one landed right on the floor, but the second one missed grazing, but the third one landed right on the button. There's that reverse elbow. There's another elbow. It's another stomp elbow. He's going to stomp the elbow again. He's going to drop that elbow straight down, extend the arm, and drop the elbow. on the nose or the eye. Oh!
Jorge is a very talented fighter, but I just believe Matt is just too awful strong for him.
I tell you, do I see some blood there? Is there a cut that's opened up here somewhere?
There is a cut. The elbow, another big right hand. You know, Matt is just pounding him. Oh! Big round for Matt Hughes. George is having problems getting up. George is very bloody. George is really in bad shape here. The fight may be over. That looks like that's it.
I tell you, Stephen, the Brazilians have a never-say-die attitude. I'd be surprised if Pereira turned in the corner. I think that threw in the towel, or his corner threw in the towel. I think this would be a doctor's stoppage if it does stop here. What do you think?
He was having problems getting up. He was dazed. It might be up to the discretion of the doctor. When a fighter is acting, he won't get up, and he's walking around like he doesn't want to continue. It hasn't been determined yet. They're moving him over to his corner. They're examining the cuts. He is cut. Matt Hughes was putting a world-class beating on him. But this fight was, in a way, reminiscent of when Don Frye fought Omri Bitech in another no-holds-barred event. Omri Bitech had position occasionally, but Don Frye would drop that short elbow over and over and then started loading up on punches, and just, unfortunately, it was not a good night for the jiu-jitsu man. Okay, now here's the body slam. Matt has got him. He walks him over to the center of the ring and slams him on the ground. That's enough to knock the wind out of someone. And here Matt just gets busy with the strikes. He just throws those big bombs. This guy can hit.
He's an excellent striker from the ground. And I tell you, he gets through hitting you with his fist, he goes to the elbow.
That was ground and pound at its best. And it looks like, I'm not sure if the fight is over.
On the ring, okay?
And let's go to T.J. Thompson.
Round number one. The winner by doctor stoppage, Matt Hughes.
That was a tremendous victory for Matt Hughes. He beat a guy that had a 9-1 Vale Tudo record who was trained by Rickson Gracie. Now let's go to a post-fight interview with George Brazil at ringside.
Matt, congratulations at the pre-fight interview. You told me you're going to ground and pound, and that's exactly what you did. Are you happy with that?
Very happy with what came out. Very happy with the match. Wish he didn't back away so much, but that's the way it was. I'm very satisfied.
What's coming next?
I have no idea what comes next. I have to talk. My promoter, Marty Cox, takes care of all my business, so whatever he says.
Congratulations. Stephen, back to you.
Okay, a tremendous victory by Matt Hughes. He can only go up from here.
I tell you, that was impressive. I'm very, very impressed, Stephen. If there was any question as to his skill against a true jiu-jitsu stylist, which I don't know that there was, he certainly solved it here tonight and answered the question for us.
Phil Johns from Canton, Illinois versus Jens Pulver from Boise, Idaho. Jens Pulver, 5'7", 156 pounds. He's got 15 fights under his belt. 13, 1-1 is his record.
Jens Pulver was recently representing the Shamrock 2000 camp, and he's comes from a very strong wrestling background, has very good boxing skills as displayed in his first UFC victory, and he's very difficult to take down. Back to Jens, he made the relocation from the Shamrock 2000 camp to Iowa with Pat Miletich.
As we get a good look at Phil Johns approaching the ring, Phil Johns, 5'2", 160 pounds, a 15-7 record out of Canton, Illinois. Phil Johns, a 4-time All-American, 1-time national champion wrestler. there for his wrestling skills. He has some good strikes, and he's very experienced with 22 fights under his belt. Stephen, two accomplished fighters here tonight for the tail of the tape.
Okay, the tail of the tape. Johns is 31 years old. He's 5'2". He's 160 pounds. He's 62-inch reach. Culver is 24. He's 5'7", 156 pounds, 68-inch reach. And let's go up to the dapper T.J. Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of World Extreme Fighting, we'd like to send a big thank you out to the crowd tonight, making this one of the most successful events ever. How about a big warm round of applause for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen? This extended play, long night of action. Final bout of the evening, the fighter to my left, wearing the black full contact fighter trunks, with a professional fighting record of 13 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. From Boise, Idaho, please welcome Jens Pulver. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight in the black trunks, fighting out of Canton, Illinois, with a 25-2 professional fighting record, please welcome Phil Johns. On Kid Kohler's command.
Phil Johns is a school teacher.
See if he's able to take Jens Pulver to school here tonight.
That would be an interesting way to phrase it. Oh, I think this is going to be a barn burner here.
Phil Johns, I think the shortest competitor in this event tonight at 5'2" tall.
Seems to have a pretty decent, good roundhouse kick to the leg.
Dynamite comes in small packages, Wade.
There you go, Tim.
Speaking of dynamite, I think he just got dynamited.
I think you're absolutely correct, and I hope Phil Johns is okay, because that was a devastating punch. Devastating punch.
Devastating. He looks okay. He seemed like he walked right into it.
Jens Pulver exudes a little after his quick victory. Phil Johns appears to be okay. He's being tended to by 5 or 6 attendees in the ring. I think he's probably okay.
Now that was a shot.
That was a heck of a punch. I'm sure we have that on replay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he just got clocked out. I mean, I hope he's okay.
It was a replay.
And it's a big left hand.
I tell you, I believe Phil Johns was out there for a moment. He just seemed to collapse much like the opponent of Brad Kohler in the last UFC. Just sort of collapsed right to the mat.
He caught him right on the chin, walking right into it. His forward motion was always down. Okay, let's go to T.J. Thompson at ringside for the...
Ladies and gentlemen, fastest bout of the evening, 33 seconds, knockout. Jens.
You've got Adrian Serrano from Milwaukee, Wisconsin versus Wald Blois from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Nice look at Wald Blois, 6 foot, 184 pounds. His professional debut, a student again of Marco Uas and a protege of Uas and Valley Tudo. He's training out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Trains with Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira, who we'll see later on tonight. He also trains with Rodrigo Uas. So he's got a good training camp, and he's a very accomplished striker, and interesting to see what comes out of this.
Well, we saw how well-seasoned it looked like Rodrigo Uas, who was making his pro debut, did. I expect the same out of Wald. Marco seems to have a way of making guys in the pro debut look good. He's got IVC, International Valley Judo veteran. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 5'7", 201 pounds. Look at that record. 28 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. That's a lot of experience, Tim.
Yes, it is. I've had the opportunity to watch Adrian in the past in some of the Midwest events, and he's always a gamed opponent, comes ready to fight, and he's always in store for a battle.
I tell you, Tim, and follow to what you just said, I've had the opportunity to watch Adrian fight a few times as well, and he usually brings the fight to the fighter.
Yes, he does. He does. He enjoys fighting very much, and I'm looking forward to an exciting match between these two opponents.
And he fights a lot, too. I saw Adrian fight in Brazil in one of the IVC tournaments, and he was rough. And he's in the ring. And now let's throw it up. He's got experience, ground fighting. He controls the pace. He's a striker. And now let's go to the tail of the tape.
Definitely brings the experience into this fight. See what Wald Blois does in his pro debut.
Blois is coming out sharp. He's throwing some punches there. He's just like laying down leather on Serrano here. Low kick. And Serrano answers back with a left hand. Blois is really aggressive with that left jab.
He's an accomplished striker, and we talked to him before the fight, as you well know, Stephen, and I think his game plan is to keep this on the stand-up.
I think so too. Adrian is good on the ground. I think we're going to see a kickboxing match this time.
Adrian's definitely within that punching range right there, and I believe he needs to keep his left hand and his right hand a little higher.
High kick attempt by Wald, and he slipped and fell, falling back into the guard, loose guard. Adrian is now working in his ground game.
Inside guard work there by Wald Blois. I tell you, that's a technique employed by many of the Ruas Valley Tudo fighters, looking to elevate, create some space, and perhaps bring themselves out of there or throw a punch from the ground.
Nice little right hand by Adrian Serrano, and Wald Blois pops back up, stand-up fight again. Nice left hand by Serrano. Serrano's got a good timing on that left hand. Nice right hand by Serrano. Serrano's coming in tough right now. He wants to stand up. He wants to go to war.
Tim, as we talked about before the fight, Serrano seems to be bringing it to Wald Blois.
Nice right hand by Serrano. Serrano's really putting it to Wald Blois right here.
Yes, Wade, actually he does. I believe he understands that he has a very gamed opponent and Wald Blois in front of him. You know, a young kid looking to establish himself, and you know, Adrian Serrano wants to take the fight to him, you know, make him fight his pace. There we see him connect with another left and a right by Serrano.
I would have to say Serrano's definitely getting the best of the stand-up war. Oh, almost caught him with that knee to the head. It's like a half knee, half kick. Serrano's stalking him at this point.
Nice left hand there.
Serrano is stalking him at this point. Wald does seem to keep his composure a little bit, trying to time that right hand over Serrano's left. Oh, got the leg. Nice little trip there by Wald Blois.
Beautiful takedown.
Trap the leg.
There we see a kick from the bottom. Excuse me, Stephen.
Now, oh, nice right roundhouse kick to the head. Wald Blois in control, pounding away. Serrano may be in a little bit of trouble here. That was a solid kick. The foot went right upside Serrano's head.
Wald Blois goes to the full mount here. See if he's able to make this effective.
I'm not sure if Adrian Serrano has enough ground skills to be able to change this position.
We got the elbows going on here by Wald Blois.
Serrano doing a nice job of trying to keep Blois down on him. He's just not been very effective at it so far.
Wald has got to make sure not to burn himself out with the striking game, so he's taking a little bit of a break. Serrano is too.
30 seconds, guys. Keep working.
Well, Wald Blois just turned that right around. He was taking a little bit of a beating on his feet, but Serrano popping back up, going into a Muay Thai clinch. Wald throwing the knee up to the center, right to the solar plexus. like Adrian's getting a little bit winded here. And there we are at the end of round.
And Adrian Serrano was just able to set up and counter before he got him off.
Yes, actually, that's a very good point. I was actually able to, you know, kind of see sometimes he would telegraph some of those punches, sometimes with the shoulders, and you know, try to load up a little bit as we're seeing here. Good
Nice
point.
left hand by Walt Blois. Both men have their hands down. In Thai boxing, you really want to keep your hands up when you're in a stand-up war.
You see some welts on the back of Adrian Serrano's left leg from the leg kicks of Blois.
Yeah.
There we see a single leg defense by Serrano, trying to create some space and pull the leg back as he pushes away.
I tell you, Blois does not want to stay in this position. Do you think, Tim?
No, not at all. You know, there's a lot of opportunity here for Serrano to create the distance and throw the left uppercut as well as the knees.
Not only that, but Serrano, all he has to do is relax and let Blois run out of energy in that position. Very taxing position.
Walt Blois is actually using the more energy at this point. His back is to the cage, and this isn't exactly where he would like to be. So Serrano is, at this point, just fighting patiently, keeping him pinched up against the cage, able to work as we see the body blows in the knees.
Those short chopping knees to the body don't do a great deal of damage, but they do add up later on in the fight. They take away the stamina of the fighter.
All right, stop, guys, stop. Break apart, back to quick.
As you said, Stephen, it's certainly not going to be a knockout from those short punches, but it's a battle of attrition and wear on the body as the fight goes on.
Now, Adrian has got to keep his hands up because he's coming in here wide open. Oh, spinning back fist. Adrian just goes right in for the squeeze down. Adrian on top, clean side mount.
Blois has got to be careful here.
Serrano has a very good key lock from this side mount position. He's won numerous matches with his key lock, so look for him to hunt for that.
Looks like Walt is trying to stand back up here. Curl out.
Looked momentarily as though Serrano was going to attempt the guillotine. Blois has got to cover his head here.
Now there is a weight differential, Wade. What does that play?
You know, as the fight goes on, the weight can tend to wear on a fighter. I think initially in a fight, it has less effect, but as the fight goes on, you tend to support the weight as we look at a nice left knee by Serrano to the head of Blois.
You know, Blois is not blocking those knees. He's trying to hold that knee close. That's a bad move. He's got to put his arm in front of his head to block it. Oh, good right hand by Serrano. Serrano's putting a beating on him here now. Blois is in a little bit of trouble on the bottom, and I expect, oh, that right knee again, that's a dangerous weapon. Serrano's got complete control right here. Side mount, he's hammering away. I think Blois is in trouble here. He's got a bloody nose.
And
There's the key lock that you were talking about, Tim.
He tapped him out. Walt Blois has tapped out Adrian Serrano. Big-time victory. He pretty much dominated the fight.
I'd have to agree with you, Stephen. It was a fight that Adrian Serrano came out and took to Walt Blois, established his will, got the takedown, passed the guard, and looked for that key lock, which Tim Stamper pointed out early.
I think the weight did play a factor, but Serrano just came right in there with no respect for the punching ability of Walt Blois and just walked right into him. And here we go to T.J. Thompson for the verdict.
Official time, 2 minutes, 57 seconds, round number 2. Tap out submission, the winner, Adrian Serrano.
2:57 of round 2, key lock, just like you said, Tim.
Well, Stephen, if there's one thing, Tim knows his fighters.
Yeah, that's right. I think that this was the most action-packed fight so far.
It was a great fight. Crowd loved it.
It's good to see Adrian back in the winner's circle. Nice fight. A lot of good stand-up in that one. A lot of good strikes. And let's go to our next fight. Big Brad Kohler from St. Paul, Minnesota versus from Rio de Janeiro, Renato Babalu. That's a tremendous matchup right there. Coming into the ring, into our octagon. Here he is. And with John Ferretti in his corner, Brad Kohler, 5'8", 225.
And this is a put-together individual, Stephen.
Yeah, he's put together. Brad Kohler can bench press 600 pounds. He's incredible strength. Curls 300 pounds. He's a heavy hitter, and he's a great wrestler. And he will be facing, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a Marco Ruas prodigy, Renato Babalu. Babalu is 24 years old. He's 6'1", and he's an outstanding record of 12 wins and no losses. 230 pounds. Great takedowns, submissions, and being a Marco Ruas student, he's got good stand-up.
I tell you, Stephen, he's also a member of the...
Now let's go to the tail of the tape. Kohler, 35 years old, 5'8", 225 pounds, 69-inch reach. Babalu, 11 years younger at 24, 6'1", 230 pounds, 76-inch reach. This is going to be a great one. I've been waiting for this fight. Okay, to T.J. Thompson in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the Forum in Rome, Georgia, are you ready for the big boys? The fighter to my left, in the black trunks trimmed and white with the full contact fighter logo on him, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, professional fighting record of 7 wins and 3 losses. Please welcome Brad Kohler. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, also in the black trunks trimmed in white, brings a professional fighting record of 12 wins against 0 losses. He's from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome Renato Babalu. On Kip's command.
And he's right. A true international matchup. A top Brazilian against a top American.
Look for Brad Kohler to want to throw his moneymaker, his overhand right. He likes that.
I think Babalu knows that. I think Babalu's going to stay loose and move around. Marco has had 2 fighters fight previous in this event and had mixed results. Babalu is a very experienced fighter. International Vale Tudo experience and rings bracket winner.
It's an interesting matchup from a grappling standpoint. We all know that Brad Kohler has a heavy right hand, but he's an accomplished wrestler. Renato Babalu is a Brazilian national member, or Brazilian wrestling team national member, and I believe he may represent the Olympics this year, if I heard correctly, for Brazil in wrestling.
There's that right hand. Brad shoots in for the takedown. And now it goes for a knee. Energy here. I think what Babalu has to do is take this fight in late to see if he can get Brad Kohler tired. Because Brad Kohler's got a burst of energy coming in these first round or 2 that's just... Oh, nice knee to the head by Babalu. That'll keep him honest. There's another one.
But I tell you, Stephen, as we've seen before, whether Brad Kohler wins or loses, he's an exciting fighter. The crowd loves this guy.
He really is. He predicted punishments in the pre-fight interview.
He's an excellent showman.
Yes, he is. A little bit of that talk goes a long way with the audience. That looked like it might have been a groin shot. Got to be careful with those knees to the body. Babalu has got the takedown neutralizing. He's chopping away with the knees. These will add up after a while. Oh, to the head again.
Is that the 3rd or 4th, Stephen? That's 3 or 4 knees right to the head by Renato Babalu.
That was about 3 good ones now. They're not real solid because he has to be careful with the takedown. They're going to chop away and give Brad a little bit of a headache. Brad tries to unleash that right hand. Brad has knocked at least one man unconscious with that right hand. So Babalu knows this and wants to be really careful. I expect Babalu to throw the low kick here.
Brad Kohler is a very, very punishing fighter. His strikes are very, very effective. He knocked Steve Judson out in about 30 seconds, I believe it was, in UFC with just a stunning knockout that left Steve Judson unconscious.
Go for the high kick.
And Brad Kohler broke the ribs of a Japanese fighter in rings with a strike as well. So he packed some power behind those punches.
Kohler is really telegraphing his shoot here. I think that Renato, being the accomplished wrestler, in Brazil they call freestyle wrestling luta livre.
Yes.
He's going for that low kick. He's being very patient. He knows that this is a reasonably long fight of 3 5-minute rounds. So he's going to take his time.
That low kick by Babalu would be an indication for me if I was Brad Kohler to want to raise my left hand.
You're right, Tim. He's looking to take that right leg kick in, get him to drop that left hand, and looking for an overhand right to the head. It's definitely a setup.
They're playing the waiting game here. They both want the other to make the move so they can capitalize. Oh, go for the high kick, and he shoots. Let's see how good the defense is. Babalu's got great defense. Nice knee, beautiful knee.
Steve sprawl.
Good sprawl. He's going to shoot, set up another knee. Babalu seems to have solved so far the mystery. A little bit of a headbutt there by accident, of course. He seems to have been able to solve the mystery of the Brad Kohler shoot.
Babalu is fighting a great fight. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay, Tim. This is an exciting fight. We all have something to say about it.
Oh, yeah. So far, Babalu has controlled the action. I was getting it, working it into a tie clinch. Now in this position. And there we go. That's the end of the first round.
I tell you, I think, Stephen, that this may be 3 4-minute rounds. And I know it was slated for 5. There may have been some type of change in the lineup.
Well, it seemed to me that Babalu controlled pretty much every aspect of that first round.
You know, as we touched on earlier in the fight, Renato Babalu is a very accomplished wrestler. He's done a nice job of defending the takedown, which is one of Brad Kohler's main weapons. He's also done a nice job of keeping his hands up and keeping the right hand of...
Okay, and here's the high kick attempt by Babalu, and Kohler shoots. Babalu underhooks and defends with a sprawl. Sprawls again with a turnaround. And goes for the knee, catches Kohler on the chin, little shot, and sprawls back into a good wrestling position. Sets up another knee. Brad Kohler gets up, knows the knee's coming.
And excuse me, Stephen, I believe I heard Kip give a warning to Brad Kohler during in between rounds there.
Actually, I think that he was telling Kohler's corner that Babalu had been given a warning for that groin strike with the knee.
Got it.
So you're right, Tim. You're right, Tim.
Good call, guys. Round 2. Kohler versus Babalu.
Brad keeping his hands awfully low.
Now there's a low kick. Brad cannot absorb too many of those because it'll take away his shooting ability. He needs those legs to shoot in for the takedown. Another low kick. You know,
you might see the low kicks setting up the high roundhouse a la Conan Silveira, Maurice Smith, extreme fighting.
Or the right hand, like Babalu.
Great sprawl.
Whoa! That's a knockout.
That's it.
A knockout. Unbelievable.
Kicks are legal with an opponent wearing shoes.
Now that is Vale Tudo at its finest. Renato Babalu in a stunning knockout of Brad Kohler. When a fighter is down under these rules, you cannot pause and think. That's one of the problems with some of the other organizations. You'll go and there's no kicking when you're down. Look at Babalu. He's a wild man. Huge victory for Babalu.
Well, I tell you, we talked to Babalu prior to the fight. He's quite a personality. He's got a persona about him for sure, and he exudes confidence.
He's a young man with a future. I hope that Brad Kohler's okay. The soccer kick is one of the most deadly kicks in Brazil in the no-rules fighting, the Vale Tudos down there. When the opponent is down, if they do not cover up, it's as if their head is a golf ball on a tee waiting to get launched onto the fairway. Okay, here we go. There's the right hand. Kohler shoots. Babalu sprawls, sets it up, and boom. Oh, devastating kick.
Beautiful punt kick.
I tell you, this knockout actually, Stephen, may have been set up by a straight left hand earlier in the round prior to this exchange. I think Kohler was already feeling the effects of a straight right hand followed up by a right hand that we saw on the replay. We did not see the straight left hand, but I think that's probably what set that knockup out.
A devastating kick knockout for Renato Babalu. He has arrived at World Extreme Fighting 8.
Brad Kohler sits up in the ring, and I tell you, he appears to be okay.
That's good.
I'm sure Babalu's going to go over and check on him. What a great show of sportsmanship.
And now, let's go to T.J. Thompson for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, 59 seconds round number 2 by knockout from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Renato Babalu.
That's about as exciting as you can get. Kick to the head knockout. Okay, now we're going to go up and get an interview with Renato Babalu in a moment. Babalu is just excited as heck. We're going to go now to George Brazil at ringside.
Babalu, congratulations. You ought to be very happy to beat this huge man.
Yeah.
Tá contente, irmão?
Muito, muito. Estou fazendo a preparação junto com os meus técnicos. Muito boa. Acho que tem muito para mostrar ainda aí.
He's very happy with his performance and has a lot to show. Back to you, Stephen.
Okay, Renato Babalu. Oh, what a dangerous man he is. And let's go to our next fight. Alex Paz from Rio de Janeiro versus Big Bobby Hoffman from Centerville, Iowa. Alex Paz, Rio de Janeiro, pro debut, 6'4", 241. That's a big man. He's got Conan Silveira in his corner. So he's got some big guys to train with. Looks like we're going to have Big John McCarthy referee this one. His strengths are submission, conditioning, and because he's got Conan Silveira, among others, he's got world-class training partners.
Alex Paz is out of the Carlson Gracie camp in Brazil, so he definitely has some world-class training partners.
But he's fighting a tough guy right here. Bobby Hoffman, Centerville, Iowa, 6'2", 268, 11-2 record. You know, Bobby loves to fight. And I think Alex Paz is going to get a real test in this one.
Well, I tell you, we know that Bobby Hoffman is going to come out and bring this fight to him. In the pre-fight interview, Bobby Hoffman said he throws fish and he's throwing heavy ones here.
He was really animated in that pre-fight interview.
He's quite a character.
Yes, he is. A big man. His strengths are ground and pound, size, and attitude. And he's got a great attitude.
I tell you, I think it's a good idea to have Big John McCarthy.
Okay, here we go. Tail of the tape. Paz is 23 years old at 6'4", 241 pounds, 77.5-inch reach, where Hoffman is 33, 6'2", 268 with a 74-inch reach. These are two big men. You're right. And let's go up to T.J. Thompson for the formal introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next heavyweight bout will be reffed by the official guest referee, Big John McCarthy. Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter on my left, wearing the white trunks trimmed in black, making his pro debut, out of Miami, Florida, please welcome Alex Paz. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, in the black trunks trimmed in white, 11 wins, 2 losses, out of Centerville, Iowa, please welcome Bobby Hoffman. On Big John's command.
Hoffman versus Paz. Look at Hoffman, he's intense.
Look at Bobby, or watch for Bobby, excuse me, to come at Alex like a freight train here.
Bobby just likes to rumble. And there's the shoot. Hoffman gives away the takedown. Paz on top in the half guard.
I tell you what may play to Paz's benefit here is that Paz has some big training partners, including, as you touched on earlier, Conan Silveira.
Keep it working, Joe. Come on, let's go.
He's got some big guys to work with, and he's very well conditioned. Had the opportunity to roll with some of these guys earlier, and Paz is in great shape. But, you know, as you said, Hoffman's a brawler, and he's going to bring the fight to him whenever he can.
I think that Paz really wants to keep this fight down on the ground because Hoffman, he's got a big punch, and he said to me that he wants to fill the shoes of David Tank Abbott as the bad boy in the sport.
He's certainly got the attitude.
And don't, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Wade.
Go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to mention, don't look for Bobby to tap prematurely or even early or even at all, because Bobby did take a fight against Rico Rodriguez in Super Brawl tournament and had his arm clearly exposed and did not tap.
Oh, nice kick. Goes with that high kick, and whoa, Bobby returns fire with his own. Front kick, not going to do much. Paz trying to get him for a takedown. Hoffman going for the elbow to the back.
I'd say Bobby has a very good guillotine from here. Paz needs to be very careful.
Bobby's got to be careful with the knee. He's wide open for a right knee right here.
You're absolutely correct, Stephen.
I don't know that Paz has got any Muay Thai background, but the knee would be... Oh, there's the stomp. Now that's got to add up. He returns fire with his own stomp. It's been tit for tat so far in this match.
I'd say a nice welt appearing on the left leg of Bobby Hoffman from the leg kick there.
Nasty welt.
Those take their toll, Stephen.
Come on, work it. Gotta work. I'm gonna go to the fence, so let's go. Come on, work. Work it.
The referee will let the fighters hold the fence to a certain extent, but if they're just holding it unnecessarily, after a while, he will break them away from the fence.
As you said, Stephen, they got to make some progress. They just can't hold on to it and sit the fight out. You got to make some progress and work from there.
Hoffman needs for the fight to have some distance so he can drop that big right hand. Hoffman has been in a few fights on the street. He's told me he had 14 assault charges filed against him in his street fighting career. Right now, Hoffman is neutralizing the takedowns of Alex Paz. But there's the knee, not much on it.
It's been a neutralizing fight so far, Stephen. Paz being able to neutralize and close the distance to keep Hoffman from launching those heavy hands. And Hoffman defending the takedowns of Paz. So it's been a neutral fight so far. Although not lacking action, to say the least.
Come on, work it out. Let's go. Come on.
Bobby Hoffman should actually be pummeling at this point, swimming on the inside of Alex's arms to keep, well, as a matter of fact, he just did there, so.
You're right as pointed out, Tim.
Now it's a battle of knees here. The knee technique, as practiced in Muay Thai, has to be transformed into a different sort of technique when you go into mixed martial arts or NHB fighting, because if you just throw the knee, the fighter is standing on one leg and susceptible to be swept or tripped onto his back. So you have to use your hands under as opposed to over.
Stephen, for those who aren't familiar with Muay Thai, that's because Muay Thai does not involve takedowns. It's simply a standing sport. Dissimilar from boxing in many aspects, but similar as well. It's a standing fight. Kicks, strikes, knees, elbows, etc.
Yeah, so far this has been a standing fight, though. And he paused on that leg kick, but he didn't pause on that one.
Well, Bobby getting a little smarter, too, after taking a few of those leg kicks. He actually stepped back and let that one ride by.
Alex pulls guard, but Bobby almost gets into a half guard.
Stephen, I'd look for Bobby to rear up here and start landing some haymakers, or at least attempting to. This is the type of position that he likes to be in.
I don't know if he watched the George Pereira Matt Hughes fight, but that's what he wants to do in this fight, is ground and pound right here. And here it goes. That's the end of the round. 5-minute rounds.
Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Well, an interesting first round there, Stephen. What's your take on it, Tim?
Actually, you know, I believe Alex has his hands full. I believe Bobby has enough stand-up wrestling to pretty much avoid the takedown, and I think it would be smart for Bobby to fight with his back to the fence, actually, because that way, if he felt in trouble, he could back up close to the fence and grab the fence and try to help prevent from being taken down and be able to work at uppercuts and knees.
We talked to Bobby a little bit before the fight, and while he certainly has an interesting demeanor about him and an attitude, he did come out and say, as we go to a replay here.
And here they go. Here's a nice low kick. Well, he actually goes high and lands on the shoulder. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but it does score a point in the judge's eye. Hoffman returns fire with a low kick. And here we are up against the fence. And Alex tries for that takedown unsuccessfully. And back to round 2.
Good sprawl, good head control by Bobby.
That left knee, there's that knee.
Oh, Bobby using that freight train mentality here.
Tim, what I started to touch on is when we talked to Bobby Hoffman earlier, he said that he'd obtained a sponsor, and he actually started training much more seriously. This is not a part-time occupation, but a full-time occupation for him now. So do you look to see his conditioning to be any better during this fight, or?
Yes, I actually do. He's, you know, from after speaking with him, you know, he's taking this fight very seriously and looking forward to a lot more W's after this one as well.
So, development here, we've got Paz down and Hoffman kind of roughing him up a little bit. Back on their feet. This does favor Hoffman.
You guys are doing good. Keep it up.
So Hoffman's going to drop that right hand at some point.
Nice right hand attempt there, which was blocked by Alex Paz with both his hands up.
Good sprawl by Hoffman. Paz is down. Paz actually seems to be getting winded here.
I tell you, there's a touch of blood on the back of Bobby Hoffman's right leg there. I didn't see it cut open up, but obviously there's blood somewhere.
Bobby doing exactly what he should do at this point, passing the legs in between his and straddling.
You want out? You want out? Good, stop it right there.
Alex Paz has verbally submitted.
Okay, baby.
He's verbally submitted.
Okay.
Bobby going over to the corner of Alex and saying some comments, and we see.
I tell you, I think what happened there was Bobby Hoffman came to the corner and issued a challenge to Conan Silveira. I think Conan jumped up and said, "Don't worry, you'll get your turn when you earn it."
You okay, Alex?
Looks like Bobby's pretty revved up here. Alex is okay, but Bobby was really roughing him up. I mean, this is a brawler, and he knows how to really rough a guy up and in a brawling fashion.
You mentioned earlier, Wade, that you had the opportunity to, excuse me, I'm sorry, roll with Alex. Do you think Alex would have been able to escape that mount position with Bobby on top?
Official time.
Well, we'll go to TJ Thompson for the call.
39 seconds, round number 2. Winner by tap out submission, Bobby Hoffman.
bad. Bobby Hoffman, verbal tap out over Alex Paz. Okay, now he's over there with Conan Silveira. I don't know what he's saying, but it seems to be a little bit of a, he said, you and me. Looks like he's saying, you and me, come on with it. It's a big Conan Silveira. High five, Big John McCarthy. Bobby Hoffman. It's a good victory for him.
Todd Fredrickson.
Okay, here we go. And our next fight. Minotauro Nogueira from Fort Lauderdale, Florida versus Jeremy Horn from East Moline, Illinois.
Get a look at Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira as he prepares to walk towards the ring. Sporting a Minotauro Jiu-Jitsu t-shirt from his academy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's accompanied to the ring by Conan Silveira, Alexander Davis, who's a fighter and manager of several of the Brazilian fighters, his twin brother Rogério. And I tell you, at 4-0, this is an impressive fighter, this Minotauro Nogueira. He has excellent submissions on the ground. He proved that in rings. He's 6'3" to 6'4" tall, 230 pounds, 240 pounds, and his conditioning is unbelievable. This guy can go forever.
Well, his opponent had a great year last year. Jeremy Horn, one of the most active American mixed martial art, no-holds-barred fighters on the circuit today. East Moline, Illinois, 6'1", 219 pounds, 37-4-4. That's a record. That's a lot of fights.
This is a very special match between these two opponents, as well as to the people in the no-holds-barred industry.
A lot of people looking for the outcome of this fight, Tim. You're right.
A lot at stake here.
You get a rising star in Minotauro Nogueira taking on an experienced veteran.
And Jeremy's got great elbows, striking on the ground, lots of experience. Trains with Pat Miletich and a whole lot of other tough guys at that Extreme team. And let's go to the tail. I think Minotauro is 23 years old at 6'3", 242 pounds, 76.5 reach. And Horn is 24, 6'1", 219 pounds at 74.5 inch reach. And let's go up to our dapper announcer, T.J. Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, World Extreme Fighting is proud to bring you one of the feature bouts of the evening. This will be for the Heavyweight Super Fight Championship. Fighting on my left in the black trunks. His professional fighting record is 4 wins and 0 losses. Fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, please welcome Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, fighting with the black trunks with the white tap-out logo. A professional fighting record of 37 wins, 4 losses, and 4 draws. Undefeated in his last 25 bouts. From East Moline, Illinois, please welcome Jeremy Horn. This bout will be refereed by Kip Kolar.
And this is for the World Extreme Fighting Heavyweight
Super Fight Champion, Stephen.
Yeah, Super Fight Champion.
Nice belt displayed by our Hooters ring girl there.
Mark Coleman sitting cage side next to the belt.
Minotauro's coming out punching. He took a right hand, though. Horn's been in with some great fighters. He's been in with Frank Shamrock, Ebenezer Fontes Braga from Brazil. He's fought in rings. He is an Extreme Challenge champion.
I tell you, I do not think this is where Horn wants to be with a grappler the caliber of Minotauro. But I tell you, Horn is an accomplished fighter, and he's shown a great guard in the past. It's going to be interesting to see how this ends up.
Oh, the up kick.
Minotauro will look to pass the guard here.
Two very, very crafty fighters.
And he does, only to have himself taken back into the half guard by Jeremy Horn. Jeremy Horn doing a nice job playing guard there.
There's a little bit of reality and a little bit of a joke with Minotauro. He was evidently hit by a truck when he was a young boy, but they say that the truck took the worst of the wear.
We've all heard all about it, let me tell you.
He's a shooting star for the Abu Dhabi tournament in the year 2000.
He's an excellent grappler.
Looks like he's a pretty decent striker when he was on his feet, too. He's aggressive, yet he's patient. I mean, both these men are working. This isn't just a stalemated thing where they're pulling guard, holding it. They're working here.
Horn doing very, very good at getting Minotauro back in his guard.
And he's keeping him honest with that up kick because that thing, he's circling it around, keeping it away so Minotauro can't grab it. It's probably going to be hard for him to land that kick on the chin of the standing Minotauro. He tries a Sakuraba move.
Flying stomp. That's a new one for World Extreme. But that is a legal technique here in World Extreme Fighting.
Mr. Sakuraba in Pride sort of patented, a little ground and pound. He sort of patented that flying stomp move.
I've seen him employ that on several instances, Stephen. You're right. If that was to be trademarked or patented by any fighter, I think it would be Sakuraba.
Yes, Mr. Kazushi Sakuraba, arguably the best middleweight fighter around.
Arguably the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, Stephen.
Little ground and pound action. Jeremy's staying back far. Jeremy's chipping away, but Minotauro is the aggressor here.
I tell you, Tim, this is sort of the opposite relationship I thought these two might have in the fight.
Most definitely. I know me and you talked, Wade, about what we thought would happen and could happen, and very good display of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills here.
We have a restart to standing by our referee, Kip Kohler. Nice low kick by Horn. He's got good defense against the punches there.
I talked to Nogueira about this fight at length on several occasions, and Minotauro said he would be happy to strike with Horn or grapple with him. So I think he's coming out here knowing that he'll go one way or another with him no matter what.
Jeremy using the cage there to defend the tackle.
Somebody's bleeding. Jeremy's chipping away with those elbows.
I cannot see who's bleeding here. It looked as though the mouth of Horn may have been bleeding, but it's hard to tell.
Looks like there's a little bit of blood of Minotauro's forehead area, left brow.
I can't see that from my perspective here, Tim, but you may be right.
Now, I noticed that Minotauro has a little bit of a scar under his right shoulder blade. I wonder if that was where the truck hit him.
Minotauro will tell you that that's where 100 men attacked him with machetes, and that's his only scar. But as Minotauro passes to the side mount here.
He's got the side mount, but Jeremy Horn is still aggressive from the bottom with elbows.
Very calm. Horn, knowing that he's been here many, many times against many great fighters.
I tell you, Tim, and taking a look there, I think you're right. I think over the left eyebrow to left forehead area of Minotauro Nogueira, there may be a cut. We'll have to see whether that plays into this fight at all.
Most definitely.
Minotauro is getting off real high on that side mount, and this has a wearing effect. He's cooking Horn to a certain degree right now. Nice reversal by Horn. That was beautiful.
Reversal by Horn.
Horn's got to capitalize. Oh, Minotauro turning right back around again. That was very technical.
Looks like Jeremy went to his back there instead of having Minotauro take his back. Good call by Jeremy.
All those punches were blocked. Jeremy's got outstanding defense to his strike.
We hear some boos from the crowd, but people that follow the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sport and this sport, you know, this is a very exciting matchup here. A lot of technique, a lot of tactic here and strategy.
I agree with you, Tim. Some of the more technical matches may not be the most crowd-thrilling for the general masses, but those who know no holds barred fighting in jiu-jitsu especially will know that this is a technical matchup that's just beyond parallel.
One of the things that I've noticed over the card so far is that most of the fighters are grappling-oriented because, with the exception of Renato Babalu, there hasn't been a lot of effective striking. There has been busy striking, but they haven't hurt anyone with a strike. They're just...
I tell you, Stephen, I'd have to agree with you. I thought Roman Woodberg came out and was a pretty good striker, but again, he was just as happy to go to the mat, so it's an interesting mix.
He had reputed to have great, devastating strikes, but Ruas, maybe it's because he was talented, did neutralize that. And here, these gentlemen are just basically throwing their strikes just to not stall, but they're not trying to do damage with their strikes. It's not like an Igor Vovchancha situation where the guy is trying to knock the guy's head off.
There we see some good boxing this way. I'm sorry, Stephen.
That's fine. No, that was a good double jab right hand, and didn't do much damage. Nogueira is trying to load up now. Nice knee. This may end up to be a striking match because the jiu-jitsu seems to be fairly even on the ground so far.
Exactly, Stephen. And I saw a good left elbow by Jeremy.
Nice combination of hands there, Tim, and you're right. There was a nice elbow.
Nice elbow. Great left elbow by Horn. That was a nice short little turnover on the left elbow.
I tell you,
right elbow. Beautiful.
Horn employing some Muay Thai techniques there, Stephen.
Horn is really closing well on the end of this. He's just turning those elbows right over. Minotauro doesn't seem to have a defense for them in close, so he stays far. Minotauro does have the reach advantage here. Oh, Horn comes raging in with a good three-punch combination. And Horn shoots in. Uh-oh. He doesn't want to give up his back to this man.
Not really sure why he did that, Wade. He seemed to be pretty successful with his boxing. I'm not sure.
I agree with you, Tim. I think that Horn, being the smart fighter that he is, he may have known that the end of the round was approaching there, and rather than get into a last-minute flurry where Rodrigo could steal the round, he may have taken that shot just to neutralize it.
I think Horn stole the round.
What do you think, Tim?
Actually, I do. You know, I saw better cross-training as we go to our instant replay.
And here we go to a very nice reversal by Jeremy Horn. That was beautiful, but Mr. Minotauro has his own reversal in mind, and Jeremy gives it up knowing that he might have given up his back in the exchange. Okay, Horn comes in raging with a 1, 2, 3 punch combination. The right hand did the most damage. Turn Minotauro, and then a good knee to the body.
I need you off. I need you off.
Horn's got some good stand-up skills.
Well, we all know Horn's an accomplished fighter, period, and he's certainly bringing a plethora of experience to the ring to a relatively novice Minotauro Nogueira from a no-holds-barred fighting standpoint.
Horn goes high with the roundhouse. It misses. Minotauro shoots. Horn just gives it up, pulls guard. In a 3 8-minute round fight, conditioning definitely is a factor.
No question about it.
Both fighters taking this fight very seriously, training very hard. I had the opportunity to watch Horn train for this fight, and he cross-trained very hard and took this fight very seriously, as he knew he'd have a very gamed opponent, Nogueira, excuse me, as well as I'm sure Wade got some opportunities to watch Nogueira prepare.
You know, Horn is really applying a lot of pressure on the ground when Nogueira goes for that. Like he's trying a reverse arm strength there, and Nogueira really didn't want to engage him on the ground. I think this fight has surprised a lot of people. Some people thought that Nogueira would walk through Jeremy Horn.
I tell you, I certainly think that Minotauro Nogueira is someone to be reckoned with, but anybody that thinks somebody's going to walk through Horn, at least on a professional basis, I just don't see it happening. Horn has stood up to the best of them in the ring. He was an excellent fighter.
Yeah, because there's like a close to 30. Oh God, it was a great low kick. There's almost a 30-pound weight advantage here for Minotauro and his Abu Dhabi experience. Nice double leg.
Once again to the takedown. And to the half guard of Horn.
Horn's going to work from here.
I'll tell you, I have a chance to train with Minotauro Nogueira in Fort Lauderdale on a repetitive basis. And Nogueira is a very, very patient fighter, as I think is Horn. So this is going to be a chess match. There may be some intermingled striking and some kicks that go on, but I think this is going to be a chess match between two, game fighters.
So far it has been, and sometimes chess matches are not crowd pleasers. And there's a restart by Kip Kohler, our referee.
Still approximately 6 minutes to go left in the round. Anything could happen.
Oh!
Beautiful high roundhouse by Jeremy.
Partially blocked by Minotauro, but he goes low again. Minotauro shoots again. He doesn't want to stand up with Horn. That's become obvious.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Stephen.
Which makes sense.
Stephen, Tim, I have a question for both of you. If this fight does go to the card, with Horn having the name and the reputation and the experience that he does, do you think it's difficult for the judges, so I'm sure would not be biased, but do you think it's difficult to go against the Jeremy Horn in the decision?
That's an interesting point, but I think that the judges here, because one of them is from Japan, two of the other ones are from stateside. I don't think that will necessarily be a factor. I don't think there's going to be a hometown thing.
Yeah, I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. I think that as in any sport, basketball, underneath the boards, the big name players get a little more leniency in what they're allowed to do and the body that they're allowed to put on their opponents.
Jeremy Horn's a likable guy, so any judge or anybody would hate to, score against him. But we're here in neutral grounds, here in Rome, Georgia. Neither fighter being from here, so I believe we'll see a good decision by the judges if it was happened to go
to that.
It looks like Jeremy is defending the mount fairly well, but Minotauro is kind of cooking him a little bit. But Horn spins out and gets guard. A little tap there by Minotauro. Minotauro can't solve this mystery, though.
I'll tell you, we've seen an excellent display of ground skills by Jeremy Horn.
In a defensive way, he's kind of controlled the fight. Goes for the big left hook there.
Nogueira respond with his own.
Oh, nice high kick by Horn. That was beautiful. And Horn shoots.
You see Jeremy roll to his back here.
That was a nice high kick. If it had a little more oomph on it, maybe he would have knocked it down. But it did more to stun, maybe embarrass him.
I tell you, as in most fights, you see Horn's confidence beginning to increase as the fight goes on.
I don't think Horn wants to play this game from this position with this man. If he sinks the other leg hook in, it's going to be difficult for him because there's a big man on his back. Horn does spin out.
Exactly.
He spins out. Good move by Jeremy. Now we're back in the stalemate, down and up position. I expect a restart any moment. There it is.
As they come back to a standing position, Jeremy Horn and Rodrigo Nogueira about 5 minutes and 15 seconds into the second of 3 8-minute rounds in World Extreme Fighting 8, going platinum in Rome, Georgia. You may notice there, get a good look at the scar on the back of Rodrigo Nogueira. That scar, in fact, was caused by a severe automobile accident he was involved in when he was a young man. Nice combination of strikes here by Rodrigo Nogueira to Horn.
Horn did block most of those, but Nogueira got busy. And he dumps Jeremy down, but then Jeremy grabs his leg, and we're back into a stalemate.
Jeremy Horn perfectly content to come and play guard with a very accomplished scrapper in Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira.
Strange thing is that Minotauro does not seem to want to engage him.
2 minutes, guys.
So here, Kip Fuller instruct both fighters. There's 2 minutes left in the round.
There's another high kick by Horn. Goes for the shoot, goes for the single. Nogueira sprawls back. Nogueira's got a clean opportunity at a left knee here to the body. Whether he'll take it or not.
Well, you're absolutely right, Stephen. You see Jeremy Horn blocking the knee that could come to his head as they were in the position, which left an opportunity for Nogueira to bring about a left knee to the body of Horn. Nonetheless, they come into a guard position again.
Yeah, back it up, back it up. Back up one more time. Let's fight, guys. 45 seconds.
I expect a high kick by Horn.
They've been effective to this point.
Why not throw another one? But load up this time. See? Right there. If he caught him with the shin, like a Thai boxer, that would have been a knockdown. But he caught him with the foot, not as an effective strike as a shin kick.
I tell you, this is an interesting display here. One fighter bringing the other back to the feet. The other fighter shoots. They seem perfectly content there.
Horn is working. Sorry.
Looking for...
He's almost... Oh, Charles spun out, but Horn was going for that back. He was going to go for that back.
This is the first time during the course of the fight we see Jeremy Horn on top and Nogueira on the bottom. We get a chance to look at Nogueira's guard.
And round two. I got to say that Jeremy Horn is fighting a very, very smart fight here, and he's controlling the action, Tim.
Yes, he is, Stephen. You're absolutely right. As I mentioned earlier, I can't stress how serious of a fight this is for both fighters. Both fighters prepared very hard, and there's a lot of special interest in this match. So we still have another round to go. So it's one of those fights. Anything can happen. It could sway either way.
Excellent point, Tim. I tell you, interesting paradigm here because as we go to a replay.
Jeremy Horn goes with that right high kick and crack. He catches Minotauro, and Minotauro seems to be puzzled how to solve the mystery of the high kick.
Nice look at the combinations here, Nogueira against the Horn backed up against the fence.
And Horn virtually blocked every one of those punches. One almost squeaked through. Nogueira. And here we go to the high kick again, and kaboom! Jeremy Horn seems to be real happy with his performance on the stand-up game. He's landing counter punches and really good high kicks. He's neutralizing Minotauro on the ground. Here we go to round two. Minotauro comes out jabbing. Horn jabs back. I expect Horn to do, oh, good right hand by Minotauro. That was a good shot. Horn clinches him. Gets ready for the Muay Thai knee. And a single. Horn gives it up.
Goes right to the mat. I'll tell you what I started to touch on earlier, Stephen, is that you don't obtain a 37-4-4 record in this day and age of no-holds-barred fighting by being a stupid fighter or by doing reckless things in the ring. And Jeremy Horn is certainly one of the most accomplished no-holds-barred fighters in the game today. Interesting paradigm as Rodrigo Nogueira advanced to the quarterfinals of the rings. He was one of the last four left in the rings A bracket, and Horn lost the bout early. Many felt that bout was a no-holds-barred fight, that Horn would have won that fight no problem, but the rings limits striking on the ground, which is certainly one of Horn's advantages.
That's a very good point, Wade. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, it is, because Horn has displayed some striking skills in this match. Good low kick, for instance. Nogueira throws his own low kick, but it didn't have as much oomph on it. I expect Horn is going to go low, 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 then high again. He's going to throw the high kick again. And see it coming. Nogueira's got his hands down by his chest. And Horn knows he's going to throw the high kick. He's going to fake the right hand. Oh, spinning back kick. That can hurt. Horn deflects and blocks all of the good right hand counter. He just covered up, waited for an opportunity, then dropped the right hand.
I tell you, you're right, Stephen. Nogueira had a nice flurry there in appearance, but I don't think many of those shots landed solidly.
Here comes a low kick. The problem with a lot of fighters when they're standing is that they'll show their kick before they do it. They don't throw the jab before they throw the kick. They just throw the kick, and many times the other fighter could just move back. Like Jeremy, double jab, right hand. He's got a pretty educated left jab. And he caught a little bit of that left hook by Nogueira. Jeremy should throw that right low kick again. Looks like he's going to go with that left high kick, though. Oop. Nogueira's got to be careful not to punch himself out because he misses a lot of those punches. Horn does have a good cover-up in the stand-up.
Nice knee by Nogueira.
That was a nice knee. Looks like Jeremy's wanting to catch a second wind here. It's going to be a boxing match here.
Once again, back to the overhook, underhook position. Tim, is this fight gone the way that you expected it to, or is this a surprise to you?
This is a big surprise to me. I have the opportunity to train with Jeremy Horn, and I did not expect this type of fight from him. He's been very willing to play with Nogueira on the ground, and his confidence has he's been overly confident. He's looking to tee off on Nogueira with a lot of punches when possible, and he's more than obliged to take Nogueira on the ground as well. So very good stuff by Jeremy Horn. Very impressed.
And I tell you, as Stephen touched on earlier, every time that Rodrigo Nogueira flurries, Horn is more than willing and able to come back out with a counterpunch that seems to be much more effective. It's been Jeremy Horn's fight to some degree.
Nogueira just tried to get the mount. Jeremy did a perfect elevator, got him back into a loose guard. Nogueira he lands a little punch there. He's getting busy.
This fight has so much for the different fans of No Holds Barred. We've shown a great display of boxing and stand-up skills, as well as a great display of ground jiu-jitsu skills as well.
I tell you, these are two mixed martial arts, Tim, and that's what the sport has become, as Stephen touched on earlier.
Absolutely, Wade.
It's going to be interesting to see Jeremy Horn's high kick and high kick, let's say by Pele, the difference of the power, if it so happens to play a factor when he fights Miletich.
Jeremy Horn invites Rodrigo Nogueira to join him on the mat.
I think one of the problems in mixed martial arts that a fighter encounters in the training is they cannot train on one specific thing and get great at it. So, for instance, a high kick or a punch to be able to knock a person out. They have to, nice low kick. They have to train in so many different elements that they suffer sometimes from the jack of all trades, master of none syndrome. Because you have to know how to defend on the ground, and you have to know how to defend standing up. So, for instance, a straight jiu-jitsu player may be able to tap out a mixed martial art player in straight jiu-jitsu, but in a no-holds-barred fight, he doesn't know how to defend a strike, per se, like a Matt Hughes-Pereira situation, and he gets beat.
Coming from a striking and kickboxing background, Stephen, have the kicks of Horn been effective so far?
Actually, not to any large extent, no, because he doesn't have as much power as, let's say, a K1 fighter or something. But the thing is, he's scoring points, and the low kicks probably going to have more effect than the high kicks. And it's frustrating to a fighter when you're getting kicked in the face. It throws you out of your game plan because you know that the judge is going to say, hey, that's a big-time score.
Stephen, do you think that Jeremy Horn has imposed his game plan in this fight?
Absolutely. He's totally imposed his game plan. Minotauro has attempted to impose his game plan, but Jeremy Horn, in a way, has shut him down.
I would have to agree with you to some degree, Stephen. It was interesting, a comment that you made earlier was that if only by defense Jeremy Horn has controlled the pace and neutralized Nogueira. And I think that's to some degree exactly what's happened in this fight.
Absolutely. Not only by defense, but by defense and by countering with his defense. Every time he does some defensive move, he's just not pulling guard, holding on. He's working for position. He'll throw down like he's going for an arm bar, then he'll hit him. He'll do like he's going to try and elevate him, then he'll hit him. He'll do something, and then he'll hit him. Just with a little tap. These aren't devastating blows, but they are enough to distract and to go to the judge. The judge is saying that that's a strike and it counts as 4. Exactly. Okay, 30 seconds left. I think Horn has got the fight under control. The judges may not see it that way, but I see that he is controlling the fight. It looks like he's got on his way to a victory. Coming down to 20 seconds left.
I tell you, he has controlled the fight. I would not be surprised to see this go to overtime, though, Stephen. I think from the standpoint of the judges' view so far, as we see a mouthpiece drop out there.
Yeah, that knee knocked the mouthpiece right out of Minotauro. It's going to be a close call, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave the decision to Horn in this particular one. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Minotauro does have a little bit of a nick, it looks like.
Is this been open?
I think Horn has used a really compact, compressed control and counter style and good stand-up. I would have to give him a slight edge in winning the fight.
Exactly, Stephen. We've seen, we've all seen, I think we can all say that there's a little bit of the Pat Miletich flavor in Jeremy Horn this evening. You know, and that's a good, we'll be seeing more of Pat Miletich later on this evening. But in regards to Jeremy Horn, though, that Pat Miletich flavor is definitely there. Pat has, the potential to shut fighters down. Townsend Saunders, the Macacos, all those exciting fighters that are very deadly, and I think we're seeing that in Jeremy Horn this evening.
That's an excellent point, because it wasn't like a Miletich-esque type performance, because Pat does take a guy out of his game plan and make him look bad. Let's see what the judge is thinking. Let's go up.
We have a decision. All 3 judges give the bout to the winner of the heavyweight super fight champion, Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira. President of World Extreme Fighting will give the belt Mr. Jamie Levine.
That's an interesting decision. I
would have to disagree, Stephen.
I tell you, the fight was very close. I saw it very close, but I felt like, as you said on several occasions, as we see Jamie Levine, the promoter of World Extreme Fighting, strapping the belt on the heavyweight super fight champion Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira. It was a good fight. It was a strategic fight. I can't say as the decision could go one way or another. I thought that should go to overtime. It was not a unanimous decision, in my opinion.
I would have given the fight to Horn. Minotauro wasn't hurt. Let's watch some action here. Minotauro comes in. That punch was blocked. Horn goes to that punch was blocked. That punch landed. That punch was blocked. So he's busy here. Maybe the judges, and Horn landed a good right hand right there. Maybe they went for quantity over quality. And Rodrigo is busy here, but most of those punches are not landing.
Well, I tell you, if you replay the fight in a step-by-step basis, I think that everybody thought that Minotauro Nogueira would take Horn down and have his way on the ground, which certainly didn't happen.
Yeah, well, it's a good victory for him. I'm sure Horn has been in the winner's circle many times and the loser's circle. I'm sure he's going to go away with his head held high. In his heart, he knows that he did a good performance against a bigger man. Let's go to the next fight now. Coming up, John Lewis from Las Vegas, Nevada versus Laverne Clark, Davenport. Here he comes, Laverne Clark. 5'11", 165 pounds with a record of 9-4. You know, Laverne can hit. That's all we can say about him. Talking about shutting down fighters, he tends to shut down guys because he's such a heavy hitter. He defends the takedown. He's got a fast, long reach. He's pro boxing level. He uses the ring well, and he's just mean.
I tell you, Stephen, we had a chance to talk to most of these fighters, including Laverne Clark beforehand, and Laverne Clark called himself Fists of Fury as John Lewis makes his way to the ring from Las Vegas, Nevada. 6 foot tall, 158 pounds with a record of 8-3-2.
Lewis is a black belt under Judo Gene LaBelle, and he primarily is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at this moment, but he does train in boxing as well. I think there's going to be some effective striking in this fight.
I would have to agree with you. His submission skills are excellent. He does have good boxing skills, as we saw in the last UFC, and he does have experience against top guys, Stephen.
Yeah, he fought Joe Hill de Oliveira. The tail of the tape is Johnny Lewis is 31, height 6 feet, 158 pounds, 72-inch reach. Clark is 26, 5'11", 165, and a reach of 76 inches. Let's go up to T.J. Thompson for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout will be for the World Extreme Fighting Lightweight Super Fight belt. Fighting out of the corner to my left. Professional fighting record of 9 wins and 4 losses. Fights out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Laverne Fists of Fury Clark. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent this evening, on my right, wearing black trunks and black top, from Las Vegas, Nevada, please welcome John Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, this is scheduled for 3 8-minute rounds. Making the calls will be Big John McCarthy.
Big John McCarthy, the most recognizable referee in the sport. Now that's an intense look.
Get on back right now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on. Come on.
I knew we'd say that.
In fact, I read the other day, Stephen, that he's trademarked that saying.
With Mills Lane. He shares it with Mills Lane, the great boxing referee who's also an appellate judge. A lot of strategy here. They're going to feel each other out. They're not going to just go in there like 2 trains on the same track. They're going to move around. I expect Laverne to throw that jab. I expect him to do a little talking in the ring, too. Nice low kick by Lewis. Lewis is fighting with a shirt on. I wonder why that is.
Stephen, you find that many of the submission fighters prefer, especially in training, to train with a slick shirt or a grasping shirt like this, which allows them to secure an arm against the body and look for a submission. And I would expect that's probably what John Lewis is going to be looking for against Laverne Clark here. I don't think he's going to want to box him.
No, not at all. Wade, that's a good point. It's obvious. I mean, you see how light John is on his feet because he knows he cannot be a stationary target for Laverne. There's a lot of bounce in those legs. He knows he can't stand there and stay stationary with Laverne.
I think these 2 athletes are so well conditioned, but Johnny Lewis has just got a phenomenal build. He's just all sinew.
I'd agree with you there, Stephen. I tell you, it doesn't look like Laverne Clark's heavy on body fat either.
No, he's pretty cut himself.
I tell you, interesting side note about this this fight. Of all the fighters in this event tonight, every single fighter, Laverne Clark had a reach that extended 1.5 inches beyond all of them.
And that is a factor when you're doing a stand-up game and striking, especially when you've got pro boxing ability and the velocity of punches, because it's the speed in which a punch is delivered, not the strength behind it, that determines the power in which it has.
You're right, Stephen. When boxers train, they train to put the punch out, put the punch back, put the punch out, put the punch back, as fast and as quick as possible.
Well, Lewis shoots in, and what a beautiful sprawl by Laverne Clark.
Laverne Clark able to establish his high school wrestling background there to avoid the takedown by Johnny Lewis.
Johnny Lewis kind of dropped Laverne with that low kick, though. Johnny doesn't want to be in this position because Laverne is going to eat him up. He can only cover up so much against a guy like Laverne Clark. There's a knee.
Tim, I was unable to confirm it. I'm sorry, Steve. Tim, I was unable to confirm it, but I was told that Laverne Clark was an Iowa State wrestling champion. You know if that's a fact?
Actually, that would that would have to be one that I would have to be.
You'd have to defer on as well.
I usually like to know the answers, but that one I would have to check on.
There's a lot of energy being expended here, guys. That's a real tight clinch. And Laverne is pounding away. I think because these guys are so well conditioned, they're not going to gas from this kind of expansion.
Well, they're not carrying around much extra body fat, that's for sure, Stephen, as we touched on earlier. John Lewis, he teaches and trains out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I think he's going to be well conditioned, prepared. I expect this fight to go a long ways.
Come on.
Johnny is staying close, and this is neutralizing Laverne to a certain extent. Lewis wants to be close or far away. He wants to use the range, the correct range to fight a Laverne Clark. If he stays on the end of those punches, he will regret it.
Put your hand off the throat.
John McCarthy is warning now. Oh, nice takedown by Lewis, but Laverne ends up on top.
As it hits the ground here between the two fighters, it's an interesting note that Laverne Clark did compete against Matt Hughes in the Extreme Best of the Best tournament, and he was able to establish a full mount on Matt Hughes as well. So that's just kind of an interesting note as we watch how this fight unfolds.
And an impressive win earlier by Matt Hughes, so certainly to gain a full mount on Matt Hughes, and I saw that fight, I think he took Matt Hughes down twice, if I do recall,
yes,
in that fight. To take Hughes down is quite an accomplishment in itself. However, I don't think he wants to stay in the guard and play the ground game with John Lewis here.
No, not at all.
No, he doesn't, because John Lewis will slip an armbar on him quick. But Laverne does have good defense. He trains with Pat Miletich and Jeremy Horn, so he knows his submissions.
He does know his submissions. I believe that he would be probably better fending off the submissions as well as, than applying them.
He's known primarily as a striker because of his boxing background.
Although, as we touched on earlier, it's become mixed martial arts, and everybody gets to the point where they know a little bit of everything.
Exactly. Good point, Wade.
Well, Lewis was running around the ring in a defensive manner early because at the end of the first round, Laverne Clark does have 23 professional pro boxing matches, and that's nothing to be laughed at when you're standing in a mixed martial art fight.
Is this 8 minutes?
Don Fry, who was a great mixed martial artist, had a pro boxing career, and he really imposed some heavy leather when he would fight. So John does know to stay either out of range or stay close. Seems to be a little bit of a cut on the right temple of John Lewis.
There at least is some blood there. Steve and I haven't been able to ascertain whether there's a cut yet or not, but there certainly is some blood there.
Looks more like a scratch than anything.
Well, to get out of a round with a boxer and a heavy-handed guy like Laverne Clark and only have a scratch on the side of your head is a pretty good accomplishment, Stephen.
I would tend to agree.
Yes.
To me, Laverne Clark just reads, he's a predator. I am a predator. I'm coming out. I'm going to punch you.
You ready? You ready? Get after each other.
As Big John McCarthy tells him, let's get after each other. That's what Laverne's going to try to do standing here.
It just seems to me that Laverne is just dying to throw that right hand. And Johnny shoots under. Laverne underhooks. He goes for his own half guillotine. Not much on it. John might have an actual takedown in a couple moments if Laverne arches too much. John pulls guard instead. Still not a good position to be in.
Put your fingers inside. Come on.
At this point, Lewis is doing little else than just to tie up Laverne and hold him and wait for him to make a mistake. Unlike what Horn was doing with Minotauro, Horn was working for positions constantly and changing positions, whereas Laverne, I think, is possibly got a stronger base, and it's harder for Lewis to deal with.
This is not a position that I would think that Laverne Clark would want to stay in. You're right, Stephen. I'm surprised he hasn't attempted to just stand up here and bring it back to the feet.
Well, Lewis is holding on to him, so he's making it difficult. It's hard to break that because Lewis is just holding tight. It's almost as if he's trying to wear Laverne down and hope Laverne will punch himself out, but Laverne's in great shape, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I'm also wondering if maybe the reason why Laverne is spending so much time here is because he knows John can be a stationary target here to unleash the leather, where compared to on the feet, John was very bouncy and moving, and he could never get a chance to throw the straight right.
Yeah, Laverne was going for an over-under choke there, but it threw Lewis out of his hold him and wait plan. It wasn't going to submit John Lewis, but it did. He is being aggressive in doing that.
Come on, work your way through it. Let's go. Come on, improver, I'm going to stand you up. Come on, let's go. Let's do something.
I think it's imminent that Big John will stand these guys back up, because it's almost a stalemated position. There's a little bit of activity, but not much. Uh-oh, almost got a side mount there. Laverne landed a little bit of a glancing punch, and then there was another one. And Laverne's got a knee opportunity. Oh, good uppercut.
Those that follow John Lewis's career maybe know that he can't, or he doesn't recover from punches too well. He had a hard time with Kenny Monday in Extreme Fighting #4 in Des Moines, Iowa. John Lewis was on his back, open guard, and Kenny Monday was hovering over the top of him, throwing a lot of leather down, and John Lewis had a difficult time responding to that.
Exactly, and Kenny Monday was more of a wrestler than he was a boxer, a man with Laverne Clark's ability. Although Johnny Lewis since then has been training in boxing,
yes,
so
sir.
He has been able to neutralize the strikes a lot more effectively than he did back then.
Correct. Good point.
So both these men stand a better chance in this fight.
Lewis quite content to work the inside guard back against the cage. I think McCarthy's going to stand these guys up.
I think so.
Work your way out. You got to do something, guys. We're going to get you up. Come on. Get busy.
Now, those chopping little punches are more than annoying. They can actually sting quite a bit.
Come on. Get it going. Get it going.
Laverne should throw a knee here. Johnny's covering up pretty well, so he's not
doing a nice job of defending those strikes. You're absolutely right, Stephen. I just started to say that as you opened up.
Yeah, he hasn't really. But he didn't block down one. That was right on the temple. He's bleeding a little bit now. I don't know if it's from the nose. But Laverne's got a clean shot here. John's got to continue to cover up. He can't absorb any of these punches. Oh, he's
possibly a triangle attempt.
Yeah, he's going for a triangle armbar, yeah.
Exactly.
He's got to watch his head's open. He could drop the knee. A lot of energy being expended here.
Okay, get out.
End of round 2. Laverne is on him, and I don't know, something's wrong with Laverne's finger.
One more time, I'm going to disqualify you. Understand that? Okay, quit sticking your thumbs in his throat. We're in the fight.
Okay. Big John McCarthy has warned Laverne Clark for sticking his thumbs in John Lewis's throat, which is illegal under World Extreme Fighting rules. You cannot attack the trachea or the windpipe with the fingertips.
Big John warning Laverne Clark there about the thumbs to the throat, and Laverne Clark's reply was, yeah, but I'm winning the fight.
Okay. Here we have Laverne defending the shoot and going for a right hand, which grazes. Then the uppercut lands more. Then Johnny shoots, and Laverne sprawls, and Laverne has got a great defense for the shoot. He pancakes down so well. He could have thrown a great kick or knee here, but he's not a kicker. And it's just another replay. That uppercut was more to the body than it was to the chin. Here we are in round 3.
Lewis appears to have some marks on the area of his forehead. I can't tell if that's blood stains or if it's a little bit of swelling starting to pronounce itself.
Get after each other, come on.
It looks like he's just getting scraped up, and he's getting roughed up on the ground. He is. I mean, he's not doing much offensively. He's pretty much been in defensive mode. He tried the one arm bar. Laverne defended well. Laverne is just basically roughing him up. Only landed a couple clean shots himself, but he has controlled the fight from the top. Now, there's a stomp technique. Johnny throws a low kick. Johnny seems to be a little bit gassed or something at this point. Here we are back at the fence. Laverne on top, chopping away.
John Lewis looks a little bit more scathed, as you gentlemen mentioned. I believe it's because Laverne's Clark glove. It's more of a puncher's type of glove if you look at it. It's not the typical Rev Gear or Boxergenics. John Lewis is using the Boxergenics glove, which is more of a grappler's type of glove, which would suit his style better, where Laverne's has the puncher style of glove.
Now he's just going shin to shin right here and just kicking away at Johnny Lewis.
Do you think that John Lewis might be frustrating Laverne Clark here?
Not to a large degree. I think that those strikes were mainly just because John wanted to get busy.
We heard Laverne Clark warned earlier for sticking his thumb in the trachea of John Lewis. I tell you, World Extreme Fighting doesn't have many rules, but that is one of them. Also, there are no groin strikes, no eye gouging, no biting, no ear gouging. And that's about the limit of it. You can kick, strike, punch, hit, knee, anything that you like, standing, on the ground, you name it. As you see John Lewis take a shot in on Laverne Clark here.
Good position for Laverne to throw those uppercuts and elbows to the back of the head.
They're screaming elbow, and there he responds with an elbow.
Come on.
I think his corner was looking for him to take that elbow to the head when Lewis's head was sitting on his thigh, and Lewis changed his position. He took the elbow to the back.
Exactly, Wade.
Certainly takes a toll, but less so than taking an elbow to the head.
Laverne should throw that left knee to the head of John Lewis right here, right here.
I agree with you. It's certainly open, Steve.
As he brings it back right there.
Come on, you got to move
Because Lewis is going to grab it anyway. Might as well give him a shot. Now he's going for a loose guillotine. Now he's got him into a side cradle. The right knee is the weapon he wants to employ here. And Lewis pops out of it into the guard.
John Lewis has very, very good hips, very mobile.
Nice transition back into the full guard by John Lewis. Again, he implores the technique of wrapping around Laverne Clark, pulling him down, and hopefully limiting Laverne Clark's striking techniques. As you touched on earlier, Stephen, it also keeps Laverne Clark from standing this fight back up.
Don't let the judge decide. Let's work. Come on.
It's difficult at this point, but what Laverne wants to do is basically break loose of that grip of John Lewis, stand back up, turn it into a stand-up war.
Come on, get him
It's
moving.
more of a chance to win decisively than to go to an overtime. But John's face is showing the wear and tear of the roughing up that Laverne Clark is doing.
He's got to be careful leaving those arms hanging that high on John Lewis. John Lewis certainly can.
That was a good right hand right there. Okay, we have 1 minute left
Good work.
in the fight.
Get your fingers out of his face.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I started to say that John Lewis could transition into a submission with those arms staying so high very quickly, especially an arm bar or some type of arm lock. Would you agree, Tim? Or?
Yes, most definitely. That's a very good point.
Come on.
John Lewis, I mean, is a very dangerous opponent, you know, to be reaching that far up and forward could definitely open up doors.
Don't do that or go ahead,
John
bud.
Lewis.
Let's go. Come on. Watch your chin.
He chinned him
Watch your chin.
to the sternum, and John McCarthy warned him for a headbutt. I guess the chin is part of the head. So technically, it is a headbutt.
Come on.
I have seen the chin applied to the eye socket which is considered an eye gouge in this sport, but I don't think I've ever seen a chin butt.
That's the first one I've ever seen.
Tim?
I watch a lot of shows, and that's the first one I've seen as well.
So we have a unanimous decision that the chin butt is a new technique applied by Laverne Clark on John Lewis this evening.
Now, let's go to the judges. We'll see if there is a decision or if they go to an overtime. I would have to say that possibly Laverne Clark had done enough to win the fight, but we've been wrong earlier in the broadcast.
Back to the replay.
And he's using the hammer fist, and that was a good punch to the ear of Lewis. And there's another one. That was a very effective strike. And he tries the left hand. Lewis ties those arms up for the most part, but the two good right hands got in. And here's the chin butt, and he looks up at John McCarthy.
We have a unanimous decision, and lightweight super fight title holder, Laverne Fist of Fury.
I don't think there's any surprise there, Stephen.
No, well, we got that one
The
right.
title bout will be World Extreme Fighting President Jamie Levine.
We did get that one right. And Laverne used his boxing, his wrestling, and obviously his defensive skill against jiu-jitsu from training with Jeremy Horn and Pat Miletich to neutralize and to rough up Johnny Lewis.
Exactly, good point. You're right, we did get that one. We're 0-1 this evening here.
Actually, we're 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, and there he is with the new title belt. And Mr. Levine is putting him on him. Laverne is psyched. He is psyched. Yeah, and now let's go back to our main event. Miletich versus Landy. America versus Brazil. So many people have been waiting for this match. It's been years in the making. Some people thought it was being avoided. Two great champions. And here he comes. Jose Pele Landy, 5'11", 176 pounds, 39 wins and 3 losses. This man is a legend in Brazil. He's got tough kicks, tough knees, he's got attitude. He will not quit.
I tell you, to touch on that will not quit, we saw the fight in Brazil between Pele and...
Okay, and here he is, Pat Miletich. Bettendorf, Iowa, 5'10", 175 pounds, 30 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. As you were saying, Pele was fought against Chuck Liddell, wasn't it?
Chuck Liddell, punishing fight. He took a great deal of punishment.
Pele and Miletich both have a common opponent in Macaco.
Jorge Macaco Patino, right. Miletich fought him in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Pele knocked him out twice in Brazil. This will be for the world title. Pat's strengths are endurance, hard punches, defends the takedown, and he's a technician. And he also, as we said earlier, shuts down his opponent. And let's go to the tail of the tape. Miletich is 31 years old, 5'10", 175 pounds, 71.5 inches in the reach. Pele is 26, 5'11", 176 pounds, and 74.5 inches on the reach. This is the one we've been waiting for. Let's go up to TJ Thompson for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rome, Georgia, the Forum, World Extreme Fighting 8, going platinum. Are you ready? One more time, ladies and gentlemen of Georgia, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, their fighter to my left is ranked number 2 in the world by the Mixed Martial Arts Association. His style is Vale Tudo and Muay Thai. His fighting record is 39-3. From Curitiba, Brazil, please welcome Jose Pele Landy. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, the fighter on my right in the blue full contact fighter trunks, is ranked #1 in the world. A professional fighting record of 30 wins against only 2 losses and 2 draws. Fighting out of Bettendorf, Iowa, please welcome the Croatian sensation, Pat Miletich. It will be 3 8-minute rounds on Big John McCarthy's command.
It's for the World Extreme Fighting.
There will be 2 more fights after this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Stick tight.
It will be for the Super Fight Championship.
Here we go.
This is the clash of the lightweight titans. World Extreme Fighting 8. Going platinum, Pele versus Miletich. Both men are accomplished on their feet, on the ground. Anything can happen in this fight. Good jab by Pele. Miletich shoots in. Now here we see Miletich doing just what everybody said he would do, and that's to shut down Pele to a certain extent. Pele has got great knees.
I tell you, in the pre-fight interview, Stephen, Pele made an interesting comment. He said that Pat Miletich is the 8 ball for this fight. I think the reference he was making is he's been playing cool in the NHB world for several years, and this is the 8 ball he needs to sink to become the #1 lightweight fighter in the world, as we see Pele Landy work the takedown on Pat Miletich.
I think that this is going to be an interesting fight. What Miletich needs to do is pretty much what he's doing. He needs to slow Pele's pace down. He needs to do what Horn did to Nogueira and basically make Pele fight his fight. That was a beautiful left hand. Pele goes for a leg lock. Pele is going for a straight Achilles lock. He's trying to turn it over. I don't think he's going to be able to get this on Miletich, but the fact that he's going for it shows that Pele is not afraid to try wild things.
Well, in the interview, Pele also made the comment that one of his biggest attributes is he lets his spirit fly when he fights. And we certainly know he lets his knuckles, feet, and everything else fly as well. As we just saw, Pele missing with the high roundhouse.
Okay, now we're in stand-up mode. We can expect to see punches from Miletich, punches, kicks, and knees from Pele. I expect a low kick from Pele any minute.
Pat said in his pre-fight interview that he felt that Landy was a very, very tough character. Wow. Nice front kick there by Pele Landy. That he felt that Pele Landy was...
There's the low kick.
But he felt that Pele Landy was a very, very tough character, but he was only as tough as you let him be, and that he wasn't going to let him get going. We'll see if Pat can apply the pressure and keep that from happening.
Now they're in the clinch. Pat knows to get close. He doesn't want to be in the tie clinch. Pele underhooks. I expect the left knee of Pele. Body punches on Miletich. Pele going over the top. Nothing there. Good body punch by Pat. Pat blocking Pele's right knee. Another good body punch. There's the left knee. There's a lot of respect, obviously, between these two fighters by the way they are fighting. They know they can't make a mistake.
He's grabbing my gloves. Let go of the glove, let go of the
Well, I
glove.
think we felt that there may be a feeling out period here, a bit of conservatism. As we know, Pele gets going as the fight progresses. He really starts to find his stride, to find his mark. Pat's game plan has always been fight his fight and his fight only.
Be interesting to see where this heads.
Pat turning Pele back into the cage. Good ploy, good strategy by Pat.
Hands off the trunks, let's go. Come on.
Attempted elbow there by Pele. It just landed on the top of Pat's shoulder. Nothing on it, per se. Pat is doing what he does. Some have said that Pat is not the premier fighter when it comes to excitement. It was a good knee by Pele, but he is there to win.
As I said earlier, Stephen, he just goes out and imposes his game plan on everyone that he fights. He does not get ruffled. He does not get hurried. He does not get impatient. He imposes his game plan on the other fighters, and that's certainly his biggest strength. He fights his fight.
But that's the third knee in a row that Pele has landed to the body. A little fake knee with the left, then knee with the right. Another knee to the body. These will add up later. Pele tries for the suplex. Another knee. Pele kneeing to the body. Pat punching to the body with the right hand. Pele's having his way with the knee, and a nice takedown by Pele.
Exact same takedown that he scored actually earlier with against Pat.
He's got side mount. He's not going to rush into anything.
Pat staying very calm, but sort of a disadvantage to be up against the cage pinned in like that.
Pele has fought a number of his fights in Brazil with headbutts. It must be a little bit of a conscious effort to not throw the headbutt in a fight like the World Extreme Fighting rules, which do not allow headbutts.
I tell you, it's interesting that you say that because we saw Mark Colin briefly earlier, and that was one of his biggest assets was headbutts, and when those were taken away.
Pele jumps up and lands right off kick. Beautiful stop kick, and then he catches Miletich on the way up.
Stephen, did you see the vertical leap that Pele just instituted?
It looked like Michael Jordan to me. Well, maybe not that. It looks like Pele is trying to get into Miletich's head. Pele, when he saw Miletich at the hotel, had an interesting way of greeting him. He took off his jacket and walked over to him and looked him right in the eye and shook his hand. Pele throws the left hand. Pat's throwing punches. Now, Pele goes for the jump knee. Pat tries to punch his way out. Another knee by Pele.
Pele looking very strong there in that tie clinch.
Tie clinch is not where Pat wants to be. He can punch his way out, but Pele, if he lands one knee on the chin, Pat is cut.
There is a small amount of blood coming out of what appears to be over the right eye of Pat Miletich, Stephen.
Yeah. I don't believe the cut, though, will actually take Pat out of the game plan. You don't come in and fight somebody of Pele's stature and not understand you're not going to get cut. So I believe, Pat understands that, you know, you're going to take some hits against Pele, but
sure.
It's interesting, with the exception of about 3 body shots, Pat has not landed a great deal of punches to Pele. This is exactly as we expected because Pele has thrown the knee and Pat has thrown the punch. They've clinched. Not a lot of ground. Nice elbow by Pat Miletich, though. It was more of a forearm strike, but still, nonetheless.
Steve, there's a welt on the left leg of Pat Miletich, which we had a good look at there for a moment.
As I said before, some of the stand-up and striking in the earlier matches is mainly done not for cosmetic reasons, but it was done to score points. Pele has got dangerous strikes.
Nice foot stop there by Pat Miletich on Pele.
Wait, what? Excuse me, I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
That was a good thing. Where Pele, he can low kick a guy one time, and then the welt will form. And that's the end of round 1. A very, very interesting and technical match. Looks like John is warning him about something. Pat's in his corner, on his knees. Pat looks a little bit flustered or something. Something's wrong with Pat Miletich.
You can't fight, you're done. You done? Pat, you fight another day, brother.
Oh, this is terrible. Pat is limping around. It looks like he can't continue. Something's wrong. This is terrible.
He does have a minute to recoup here. It'd be interesting to see what happens.
Pele looks unscathed. Oh, the fight is over. The fight is over. Pele goes out and shows the respect. There's no hard feelings. His back. Oh, what a terrible disappointment for Pat Miletich. Pele Landi had a lot of good strikes in the first round and may have squeaked out the first round, but there was a whole fight ahead of us. But Pat's back went out. Our heart goes out to Pat Miletich.
Wow, a disappointing end to a much anticipated fight. I'm sure we'll have a rematch or a matchup of this in the future. What an unfortunate event for Pat Miletich.
Well, now I guess we can say that Matt Hughes, in his pre-fight interview, thought that Pele was hugely overrated. I wonder if Matt would like to step in.
I think Matt's game for a challenge, to say the least, as we see Jamie Levine hand the World Extreme Fighting Super Fight Championship belt to Jose Pele Landi.
Pele adds this to his collection. Pele is the winner of 3 8-man no-holds-barred tournaments. He is the current International Vale Tudo champion, and he adds the World Extreme Fighting Super Fight belt to his collection. A great warrior, a great champion. He goes to 40 wins and 3 losses. That's a record.
That's an impressive record, Stephen.
There he is with his trainer, Ujamar Federico, and Jamie Levine in the ring. A tremendous warrior. He was ready. He was ready for this fight. He was psyched. He was ready to go in the future. I see a lot of matchups for Pele. Mr. Sakurai. Okay. It may be this throw, because Pele does a pretty wicked. Yeah, he landed a little bit on his tailbone.
A little bit awkward on the hip and tailbone there, Stephen. You're right.
So you have to get Pele the verdict in this. Yeah, right there on his back. It injured possibly Miletich's back in that move. There's Pele with a wild left hand, which was blocked, and then Miletich gets busy, but then Pele is going to throw those knees. Everybody knows it, and he jumps up with a jump knee. Didn't do a lot of damage, but sure looks good to an audience, and there's some serious Muay Thai. Now here's the vertical leap, and he jumps straight up and stomps straight down and lands, and then kicks Miletich in the face. Pele is an action fighter. Miletich wipes to see if he's cut, and let's go to ringside for the post-fight interview with George Brazil and Pele.
Pele, how do you feel being the new World Extreme Fighting lightweight champion? Como é que você se sente sendo o novo campeão do World Extreme Fighting?
Na verdade, eu agradeço tudo ao meu pai, que antes de eu nascer ele queria um filho, ele teve 4 meninas, e ele era frustrado por não ter um menino para ser campeão. Agradeço a você, pai.
He would like to thank his dad because he had 4 girls and he wanted to have a man, and he was the 4th one, and he thanks his dad for that. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Obrigado, Brasil!
And it's been a great night of fighting. We've had some sensational fights. Jorge Pereira wasn't one of our victors, but Matt Hughes was in that fight. It's been a spectacular evening. We'd like to thank everyone here from Rome, Georgia. We'd like to thank our crew. We'd like to thank Nate Hill, our production manager. We'd like to thank Jamie Levine. I would like to thank my partners, Wade Rome and Tim Stamper. My name is Stephen Quadros. I am the Fight Professor. We'd also like to thank Big John McCarthy for joining us. Everyone, thank you, and we will see you at the next World Extreme Fighting. Good night.